Alright, viewers, fans, and subscribers all the same, welcome back to the next episode here of the Iacon Battle Circuit, the Space Bridge, the podcast series. And with me here today is one of the fellow Metafy coaches and another one of the semi-professional players that I talk with a lot of the time, one of my online buddies that I've known throughout much of the totality of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I want to introduce you guys to SPolarity, and join with me today is also going to be Vastforce.
Yo. What's going on, guys?
Definitely. It's a pleasure having you both here today on the panel. How you guys been?
Yeah, I would say I've been pretty good. I haven't been too much in the FGC lately because we're kind of in like an off-season lull, but I've been re-finding my joy with it.
Sounds about right. And Vast, how you been? What's going on with you lately?
I'm good. I've been chilling. We got back from CEO, and as Polarity said, it's a bit of an off season right now. We're aiming possibly to go to Roundhouse in September. And other than that, I've just been chill, working, trying to practice when I can. Just been in my Discord a lot, and just been chilling. Really, that's it.
What's Roundhouse?
Roundhouse is a Chicago-based tournament, and it's been around for 5 years, which I didn't know. This year's the 5th year. And they have all sorts of fighting games, not just Dragon Ball. They have 2v2s that they're doing with like City of the Wolves and Street Fighter, and they're doing all sorts of crazy team stuff, and also like official tournaments as well. So I think it's like CEO Otaku level. I think it's like around there, something like that, because it is a whole weekend, and it's at a hotel, and there's a whole venue, so it's no small tournament.
Oh, wow. What part of Chicago did they come from?
Chicago loves Dragon Ball FighterZ. They have Frosties, they have Combo Breaker, they have Roundhouse. They love Dragon Ball.
They're thinking about probably trying to give Nin Impact a little thing over there?
I would not deny. Fun game.
Okay. So with you guys' offline experience, tell me a little bit about it with your backgrounds. What brought you guys into the gaming scene or into the fighting game community?
Well, for me at least, that's pretty interesting. Because before I even started on fighting games, I was a very competitive person. I played a lot of League of Legends. I was actually on a League of Legends team for one season down here in Florida. We were called Miami Menace. It was for like it was an official league, but I don't think they do it anymore. Either way, that was my first experience with the competitive scene, and it left a really bad taste in my mouth, especially because we primarily lost just because we didn't work as a team, and it was hard to pick up where others were slacking. And so around that same time, I met Vastforce, actually. I started going over to his house on Fridays, and I learned really that how good you could get at fighting games, and it just had that natural allure to me because it's all on me. If I lose, it's my fault. Like, really. So it was a good outlet for my competitive nature, and they were kicking my ass for years before I was anything good. So Vastforce is like legitimately my original teacher.
We're still hosting. We still host every Friday for the past.
Still hang out every single Friday.
Oh my!
Yeah, since like 2017, I want to say 2017. Since Ultimate came out, Smash Ultimate came out.
Yeah.
We've been going at it.
But that's more or less my entire like bringing into the fighting game community. Because just from there, it was just obsession, pretty much. I mean, to get good at fighting games, you have to be a little obsessed. There has to be some level of obsession.
Agree.
or I guess people call that dedication.
It's a healthier word, yeah.
Yeah, just make it sound better.
Constructive dedication. Constructive
Yeah,
obsession.
yeah, yeah.
And how about you, Vas? How'd you get your start?
Been playing video games since I was a kid, since I can remember. On my Sega Genesis, playing Fatal Fury, Terry Bogard. My brother kicked my butt for years. It's a very relatable story. Everyone has the older sibling who beats their ass for years until they get old enough to win, and then their brother stops playing with them because they can't win anymore. It's the total typical, like, little brother becomes better. I was always really pretty casual in fighting games. I was probably more hardcore in Smash. I've been playing Smash since N64, since I was about 12, and I've played every iteration of the game religiously. I was fanatical about that game, and I thought I was really good, and I was just a really, really sweaty, casual Smash player. That's basically the summary of it all. I tried to go pro in tennis. In college, I was semi-pro, and I was playing challengers. I was ranked, and I got injured. I had a back surgery, tried to come back, had another back surgery, and that was basically the end of my professional tennis career. Before my, like, 24th birthday, I was already washed up. I switched over to ping pong because it's not as strenuous on the body. Because of the hand-eye coordination, I picked it up really quick and actually started winning a lot of local tournaments. I have a bunch of medals, and it was great, and it was cool to, like, master ping pong to a certain extent, and then I wanted more, and then 2017 comes around, and another Smash version comes around, and I bump into Polarity, and then, I remember 8 years ago, Polarity's like, man, I can beat Goichi, and we all laughed at him, but you know what? Like, he's really good now. He's, like, super good, and we all pushed each other, and I wanted to be good at something. Tennis broke my heart. It was really, really hard for me to swallow that I couldn't be what I wanted to be because of the limitations of my body, and I just transferred the love and everything into fighting games and being competitive. It had a double-edged sword on me because I put into it emotions. I would rage. I would have a lot of issues. I would get angry. In the last few years, I learned how to control my emotions and my impulsivity, if that's the right word. And now everything's kind of coming around. Now we're in the appreciation phase. Now we're actually, like, enjoying the work that we put into it, and we're looking at it in a much healthier way. And I have nothing but gratitude. I'm very pleased. I'm very happy just to be here and be on this podcast with my boy and you, Rod. And yeah, it's incredible. Like, this is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's a hell of a journey.
Which I actually think it's pretty interesting because I didn't realize how many parallels there were between, like, our coming into the FGC. Like, we both started on something else competitively, and then just basically getting our heart broken by it, and then going into the FGC. Which I wonder how many people get into the FGC as, like, their second competitive thing versus, like, their first.
Right. I'm happy it was here for us. I'm happy that the FGC was here for us, despite whatever difficulties there could be. Nothing's perfect anywhere. There are good people and bad people everywhere. But I'm happy that the FGC was here and we were able to do it and have a part in it. I don't know what we would have done if there was no CEO and these community efforts. I look back now and I'm like, wow, like, we're very fortunate.
Yeah, I actually do think we're really fortunate. I mean, especially because, like, I guess you can also relate to this because I'm coming from League, which is, like, very much big company does everything. They run everything. You can't really do too much. It's not, like, that community driven. And I can imagine in tennis, it's also just run by, like, the bigger tournaments. So many people in it. It's literally a worldwide sport. Not much community that you can really build. But it's nice going to, like, something like CEO or what was the other one we just went to, Combo Breaker, and you can walk around and you'll see the guy who just organized everything. You can see personally everybody who's running everything. I feel like it, like, adds another layer of appreciation, and, like, it feels nice having that community just in front of your face.
It's
It
that
does.
layer of interaction and connection.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Because you always
They're all
you
there.
see the product for years, but you actually get to meet the person that made the product.
Yes.
Right. Because even when I was competing and like competing, even when I was competing in League, it's like they rented us out like a movie theater, and it was cool for what it was. But there was like 7 different teams that this one company owned, and I was part of one of the 7 teams. And then each city across the U.S. had like also 7 individual teams. And then when it's like the league is bogged down by that many players and that many different companies and that many different avenues, it's like I didn't feel community whatsoever. It's like I couldn't even connect to the couple of people that were playing on my team. And so it feels so weird going out to an event like this and just being able to walk up to like a cosplayer that's holding like a fight stick, or just some random person playing a game that I sort of know, and being able to have some of the best conversations of my life. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep. Yep. It's very unifying. It's funny because you actually go to the tournament. You actually go to the tournament solo. There's not really a lot of team based tournaments. I mean, there are, right, but like officially, like, when you enter a tournament, it's you're on your own team. That's why it's so important, at least in my opinion, to travel with your boys. To have a group, of people that you guys like share the hotel room with, and because when you're there and you're cheering on your boy, you need it. You need it. Those locals hit different. Playing a tournament in person hits different. It's like you sit next to a stranger. Hi, how are you? Do a button check. All right, cool. I'm gonna whoop your ass, or you're gonna whoop mine, and then you guys move on. And it's crazy, and it hits very different than online. I'm very different.
I feel like it is very different than online, especially because so me and you, we both used to rage really hard, and I feel like it's very easy to rage when you're online, especially when it feels like you're just directing it at a screen, or at the game or at the netcode or whatever it is, you know. But I feel like even when I'm losing in person, just next to somebody, I'll be laughing my ass off. Like I remember, I was playing against KJ in Fighter Z. KJ Pixel's one of the top players. He plays Frieza and Baby. I'm sure you know him. But I was playing him locally at Combo Breaker, and he was just beating me down. I think it was something like I won 2 and he won 10.
Oh my gosh.
But just like the amount of times I caught myself laughing and just enjoying the time I was spending with him, even though I was losing the hardest I've ever lost, I was like, man, this is better than any online tournament could ever be.
Yeah. Yeah, they say the level ups happen in person when you go to those locals, and I feel it. I always feel powered up after a tournament. Even if I go 0-2, I always come out a better player.
100%. I definitely agree with that.
Okay.
But I guess we could just start talking about like the online tournaments, because that whole scene has shifted. There used to be a ton of online tournaments, but it's not really so much anymore.
No, no, not as much. I mean, right now, this week, like we're getting quite a few. I don't know. I think like the stars aligned, and we had one the other night, and King Lord Beerus keeps hosting more every week now. I think he's going to do a series. We got 2 tournaments Friday, and we have TNS this week. So it's like, but this never really happens. This is like an eclipse that happens every like 100 years. After this, there aren't going to be online tournaments. Although I did see Rod, you're doing something in August, like the first week of August. So
I did not know that it showed that stuff already.
yeah. Well, I search 90 days ahead. I'm that guy. Like I go to Start
Yeah,
GG.
yeah, he will check online tournaments constantly. I
Yeah.
remember when we were in like a lull, Vastforce actually was checking online tournaments, and he was signing us up for every single one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And when we were like, okay, we're ready, and then we got kicked out of like so many, because the only people who were running tournaments at the time were like the people in Argentina.
Yeah.
Like, that's a quiet thing.
What you guys doing in here?
Okay. Oh, hey, welcome in. We're doing the podcast right now. You can just sit and chill.
It's too funny. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was was logging on to Start GG every morning, and I was like, I don't care. It could be a tournament in Germany. It could be South America. We're entering this shit.
You'd
And
be
you know, for the
surprised.
first couple of tournaments, they let it rock. They let us participate.
Sometimes they did. Yeah, sometimes they did. You know,
Some EU scenes are chill like that. They let Americans in and just make it do what it do.
100%. Which is actually kind of nice, because what I find is that people from different regions play the game entirely differently. Like to the point to where even me and Vast kind of have like an inside joke about like Mexican players. Because like when we joined our first like tournament that was being run in, I think it was either Argentina or Mexico. It was a South American tournament. It had a lot of people with the Mexican flag. That's why we call them Mexican players.
Yeah.
And it was so weird because I'm a very defensive player, and I feel like that's out of meta for American play. But we played against the Mexican players, and they had equal to, or if not better, defense than me. So I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, and we created a Mexican meme. So if someone was very defensive, we would just be like, dude, he's Mexican. Watch out, man.
Dude, he's Mexican. Oh my god. So like literally like Mexican players in my head, best defense.
Yeah.
And then I had that another interesting interaction with what was his name? It's not CD Mangaka or Chatman. It was one of their friends. I can't quite remember his name, but
right. It's Mangaka's boy. Oh my gosh, he plays Zamasu in Black. I know who you're talking about.
Right. His name
familiar. His name is slipping my mind, but I believe he was a French player, or he played a lot with the French players, and so his playstyle was completely different to America and South America. So I was like, I was getting hit in places in the game that I've never been hit before. And hearing the way that he would break down the game, like the different mindsets, the different like the different reaction times, he was being very scientific about it. He was like, oh yeah, your body reacts to this way after 14 frames, your body reacts to this way after 25, you have to do this to elicit this kind of response.
And I was like, wow. Commentary.
Yeah.
I was just bewildered that someone could see the game in such a different way than I do, especially when they dive into genuine, like reactions and trying to abuse it out of you. Which apparently he said that's like the core of all like French game plans. They bait you, and then once your reaction time keeps up, then they punish you. And it's like, okay, cool. I like being destroyed for trying to play.
It's like they punish you for your good reactions.
Damn.
It's pretty wild.
They get you to keep up, and then they punish you for keeping
it. It hurts. Yes, 100%.
Wow, they actually do bring the you out of you.
100.
For real.
Oh my god. I know Vast has had some good experiences with some French players, because you've met Wade, right? Is Wade French?
He is. I think he is, but I can't. I met him at Bum's. I went to Bum's birthday bash, where I met Hugh and basically met all the New York guys. And in person, they're super chill. Like, they're super cool. And I was hanging out at Bum's birthday, and yeah, Wade was there, and he was awesome. He was a really, really chill, cool dude. Yeah, I met a couple of the French guys. Like, they're great. They're great. I'm trying to go to Evo France, but I'm trying to make it work at the same time. Like, I'm not just going to go out there for the game, but my in-laws live in the UK, and it's like a 1-hour flight. So if we end up going in October to my in-laws, then I am going to try to do that. But as of right now, we're still chilling. But yeah, the French guys, like, love them. They're great. I feel like they shaped the game into kind of like what it is today. My favorite player is Wawa. I think I just love him. Yeah, he's the GOAT in my head, and I think he's awesome. He's my favorite DBFZ player. My favorite Street Fighter player is definitely Daigo, just because I totally understand like the age gap and what he's trying to do and what he's done, and also another pioneer.
Okay.
Which I just like talking about different regions. I'm sorry if I'm going like off tangent a lot.
No, that's
But
okay.
because I feel like the whole community, especially in Fighter Z, is very different now than what it used to be when I first joined. Because when I first joined, the game was booming, it was still new and everything. And right around the time I got good, there was like beef between the different regions. Vast, do you remember any of that? There was like New York versus Florida versus like California and all this other stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Ah,
Yes,
yes,
I
I remember
remember.
those
I
days.
remember. Yeah, I remember because I'm a Florida scene person. I specifically remember certain things. I remember like the coach Steve Ark, where it was like a Florida New
Mm.
York 10v10, and he stomped Florida. Like I have no defense here. He just stomped Florida, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Like on his part, just to come out. I think he was. I don't even think any of the New Yorkers even got to play. I think they just put the coach in, and I think the coach
I
just took down the entire
I
state
think
from
that's exactly what happened. They
yeah.
put a strong player up front and then just wipe. Oh my
Smart,
god.
smart play.
You have the end game just be the frontline checkmate.
Yeah, put Thanos first. Just put Thanos first, and he has the stones, and just get rid of everybody. By the way, Silver Tabby, that was the guy you were talking about.
Silver Tabby, yes, a
Yeah.
very intelligent player. Very, very
Yes.
intelligent.
Yes, very, very intelligent player. That will lose to the auto combo in neutral because he's thinking about everything else. Very, very,
Yeah,
very.
it's always a delicate balance between mental stack and monkey mode.
Yeah. I just wish I know. Like I want to. I wish. I wish I could. Like I got to do more research on players, and like I'm a threat when I know the kind of player that you are. If I don't know the kind of player that you are and I have to figure it out and try to win the set, I'm not going to lie, that makes it more difficult for me. It's when I have the data and I know, that's when I become more dangerous. But yeah, I realized when I watched you and Silver go at it that he really had everything down. He had the frame data down. He had a lot of like interesting ways to open up people. But I saw you randoming him out, and I'm like, right, because when you're thinking about all the equations and everything, you can just lose to light. You could just
I
get hit.
mean, honestly, yeah, because
Oh,
it's
chat
it's
for
so weird, especially
references,
because I would
the Silver
consider
Tab.
myself more. Oh yeah, he's very good. But I
Yeah,
would consider myself a more methodical player. But playing against him, it's like all my methods were just garbage. So I had to resort to being random, and it I think that was actually like the first time in a long time I enjoyed the game. Like that was back in Frosty Faustings, like the beginning of this year, and I just wasn't really having too good of a time. But playing with him and like unleashing that randomness in Fighter Z, it made me happy. It was fun.
it was funny. You like made the switch in real time from being like the type of player that's like a flowchart player because you were always like a master of the flowchart, and then you started just like ending your turn with like a DP, and then just like stealing your turn in like wicked ridiculous ways, calling out his flowchart style, and it was funny to watch. It was definitely funny to watch. Take your turn, buddy.
Right. Which I'm glad we're able to have those good experience with players. Because like what I was talking about before, like I feel like especially in the FGC, it's very easy for things to become hostile between like regions or between like specific players. So it feels nice to not have any of that in Fighter Z anymore. Like I don't feel like there's any beef between any region right now. But correct me if I'm mistaken.
No,
No.
it's a lot less. I mean, I would say, yeah, I can't speak for the whole world, right? But it definitely feels like it's a lot less. Like, I want to say that the
Cultural
toxic
inclusion.
players stop playing.
The cultural inclusion now for North America is mainly with most of EU and Brazil. Like a handful of those players that are still generally active. But there's no beef going on.
Unified. Let's get it.
Which I feel is really nice, especially in a smaller game at maybe getting near the end of its lifespan to where there's not so much toxic activity still going on. And because of that, it's like we're seeing almost like a second wind for the game. Because even though the game is arguably in not really a good place, there's more people I see coming into Fighter Z now than the past couple of years in arguably better patches, because I would say the community has gotten better. And it's like, if the community doesn't keep the game alive, nothing will.
Yeah,
That's it. It goes back to the nuts and bolts.
gotta stay unified. That's why we have a pretty chill Discord. For the most part, we don't have a lot of drama. We're very accepting. It's very rare, for us to like ban someone, to really get involved and really do anything, because we're really just trying to stay unified. We're trying to just keep whoever is playing the game happy and share tech, to let everybody grow. Not really into gatekeeping. We're just into the community and keeping it going. And hey, if there's going to be only 20 guys playing the game in 5 years, me and Polarity are probably going to be one of those 20 guys.
Same. They'll count me in.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I feel pretty lucky even for the fact that like Fighter Z is still considered a main game and not a side game. So I was like, anytime we go to a major, it's never too small.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny. They'll rank tournaments. They'll be like, "This is a tier 2 tournament. This is a tier 1 tournament," and I'm like, "Bro, you put Dragon Ball in a tournament. If it has more than 30 people, it's a major."
Basically.
But it is very hard coming into a game, that's been out for this many years already, because it's a different thing when the game is new and everyone's on an equal playing field. But especially now, I see people joining. I'm not going to name players, but I see people getting very frustrated because they can't match up to people that they're playing against online. And I'm trying to tell them that these people have been playing online, have been here for at the very least 3 years, and at the very most like 7 to 8. It's gonna take a lot of effort to match those people, but then still they're still trying to like push through and do it. And I'm like, wow, people have the love for fighting games and the love for Dragon Ball, and I'm like, I just wish that this game had the platform to really put them together.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of politics with Bandai and Arxis and what goes on, but hey, we did get rollback. It's not perfect. We get it. It's like not perfect, but I don't know. Like you can wish for crossplay or like an update. You might get it. Like BlazBlue got rollback years after it died, and then it just got like reignited on PS4. So anything's really possible. I think the anime and the manga for Dragon Ball Super like really kept everything going. Because if you noticed, like Ultra Instinct would happen in the anime, and then they would release the character for the game. Like they really like tried to keep the game going as much as possible.
Yeah.
I believe even like when they released Ultra Instinct, I remember me and Vast were sitting on the couch. We were watching the live stream, like watching the 5L, and we were popping off anytime we saw him do anything.
Yeah,
and that was, I think, one of the most popular that they've had for a character, at least. Like UI, insane,
and a hell of a fun character to play now in like season 7 or whatever season we're in.
Season we're in. I do think that it's nice to be hopeful for a new patch, because there is a lot of different voices in the community that want the game to go in a lot of different ways. I'm sure you've seen Dragon Ball Community Edition, Silver Edition, Dragon Edition. There's so many different modes of ways to play the game, and I like that, but I also kind of don't, because it splits up the community further.
It does.
I just wish that we would get another patch, but honestly, with the whole political scene going on with the anime and manga and like the different studios and people trying to claim ownership over Dragon Ball, I think Dragon Ball as a franchise is more of a mess now than it's ever been, and so Dragon Ball Fighter Z specifically is way on the back burner for them.
It feels like that. It definitely feels like that. Yeah, and it's like I don't know what else they can do to the game. Like they're not going to balance the game. They're just going to make every character, even if they continue on this trend, they're just going to keep making characters more broken and more broken.
I mean,
I see the attempt in the balancing in that, like in terms of like trying to make it so if everybody's OP, then nobody will be.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. You still need the cojones to show up to a tournament in person, and that in itself is like ridiculous when you're actually like, wow, like me and Polarity, like we're day one players, and like for us to stick through it all the past 7 years and to show up to a local, knowing how insane the game is, knowing that if we make one mistake, we're basically dead, and we battle through that and we go through that pressure. And I realized, I'm like, dude, we got to give ourselves a pat on the back. Most people quit because they didn't want to hold it, and
Yeah.
we're there.
Yeah.
Because that was definitely a running trend with each patch. Because each patch further divided the community, and it felt like you could feel like a 10% or 20% cut in the player base every time a patch came out.
Every
There
time.
would be
Yeah.
like the initial hype, and then everybody's like, okay, this is actually the worst thing ever, let's leave. And so I feel like Fighter Z on release was sweeping every other fighting game, but just because of the lazy decisions throughout the years, it's just been getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's very sad to see, especially when it's like a love game. You know, like I play this game out of love. I'm not optimal with my teams. I'm not optimal with anything. I play this game because I love the game.
Yep. We love the game, love the series. I grew up with the show. Like, I grew up with the Canadian dub, where the show would just stop on Goku's arrival on Namek, and it was like 50-something episodes, and then it would reset, and I had to hold that again. And I was like, I don't remember, I was 12, and I'm like, all right, well, I gotta watch the Saiyan Saga all the way up to Ginyu and hope that I'll get an extra episode, but I never did until Toonami, then Toonami gets it, and you know the whole thing. So I was just like, okay, but yeah, Die Hard, like I love it. I love the show. I love Goku, and he's not a bad father like everybody says. He was actually an incredibly good father in Dragon Ball Z. Maybe in Super they changed his character, but you kind of have to do that. You have to regress him so he can grow again. So it's like, yeah, it's lazy writing, sure, but no, his character in Z was peak. It was peak. It was really good.
Let me see what you said, Bandersnatch. On paper it works. In practice, there's just characters that are more OP. Yes, that is true, but that rule can be challenged sometimes depending upon experience of the player or how wide the spreadsheet is for the character in their matchup chart. Some characters do just have to work harder than others, but that doesn't mean that the reward doesn't change that much. It's just how they get the opportunity to get the rewards, or to see the payoff in what the character's neutral is, or how hard do they have to work to win their neutral to get the rewards.
Real.
He gave Scylla sensu bean and made his 11-year-old son fight. Oh, that. Look, I'm not gonna listen. Look, that's a shadowy area in father-son things.
Okay,
we're not gonna talk about him giving Cell sensu bean so that way he can throw hands with an 11-year-old.
I think that was also bad writing. Also, like, Vegeta allowing Cell to absorb 18. Like, we can bash the Cell saga because there's a lot of things that just Trunks lost his shit. He was like, "What are you guys doing?" He's like, "I literally broke time to help you guys, and y'all are just like destroying the future,
making every mistake possible."
Like, why did Vegeta let this shit happen just so you can run the fade?
Yeah. Cell was a genius tactician, and he has the cells of Vegeta, who is a genius tactician, and he used his pride against him. So that was a power move.
That was literally a power play.
That was just a power play. I mean, you could be mad about that, but when he's composed of the person that he's fighting, he's going to know how to beat him. The Goku sensu bean thing, I don't have much of a defense there. The only thing I can try to be like, okay, if I spent a year with Gohan in the time chamber and I saw his potential, I would be a believer as well. But then to go throw him in front of a monster and do what I mean, I could see how people are like, dude, what are you doing? He's a kid. He doesn't love it like you. But, you saw what happened. The kid almost got killed.
I mean, yeah, but okay, look, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say I agree with Goku. Because I've been in situations like as a coach or as a friend, it's sometimes hard to like differentiate the two when I'm around like friends who play fighting games. And sometimes I see a friend of mine that has a lot of potential, and I just want to help him as much as possible, and I almost like force the help upon him. I almost like force my will on him, and I throw him into the deep end, and I'm like, I know you can swim. And then once you take that step back, you're like, oh man, maybe I wasn't thinking right. But it's like I like that Goku did that because it's like a human thing to do. He just assumed his son was like him, and like I get that.
It's relatable. He fought with his son for a year straight, in another dimension, and that will give you confidence and belief, especially if you guys are grinding every day. It's no different than me and you playing the world tour for like 9 months straight, grinding 4 tournaments a week, and then we show up to locals and we just have this profound confidence that we don't even understand why we have it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally get that.
You would expect that Bandersnatch, but I mean, it's not totally off the mark because I mean, he did screw up. He just didn't screw up in putting his son in harm's way directly, just in terms of like ultimately disappointing him. But Trunks didn't account for if he is his father's son. You know, your father is probably the most prideful man alive.
Yeah.
The thing is, he tried him out, and the world was at stake. There's no reason to help the guy trying to kill everyone. There isn't, unless you like the thrill of the fight? Question mark?
That's definitely a Goku thing.
Yeah.
He is definitely a thrill fight kind of guy. And yeah, I don't think anything you could say can really defend like the Sensu bean argument.
Nah.
There was no reason to give it to Cell. There was no reason.
Nah.
You're talking about a monster that when Cell understood that he couldn't win, he was gonna blow up the Earth. So it's like, bro, don't give him a Sensu bean.
Exactly.
Like, you want to talk about rage quitting?
It's giving
like,
a rage quitter a second chance.
Bro, a rage killer.
A rage killer, yeah.
Oh my god, the rage killer. I love that. I do not love that.
You totally got it.
Let me see. When you guys came through the scenes, did you guys always picture yourself as being a competitor, or invested casual, or a mix of the two?
Vast, I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. I was thinking about my answer right now. So when I got into this whole tournament scene, I actually got turned on to it from one of my friends. His name's Kirk. His gamer name is Species. He's the one who kind of was like, "Hey, we should go to tournaments," and I was like, "Bro, I'm a casual Smash player. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about?" No, I did not think I would get to be where I am right now, and all the things that I did. Sometimes I look back, like I haven't reminisced yet because I have a job, I'm married, like so much stuff going on. And like just recently, I saw like a video pop up of me and Malice playing. Like someone clipped us playing, and now I'm on some Dragon Ball replay channel. I used to look at those videos like 5 years ago, being like, man, these guys. Like I used to look up to these pros that would play, and I'm just like, I'm on the videos now. Like it doesn't even click for me yet. Like I did not think that I would be here, like where I am now, and it's just I go back to the gratitude. I'm like I have nothing to say. I have no worries. I'm just here. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm very humbled, and I'm very grateful.
Okay.
Yeah, and as for me, I suppose I've always just had a competitive nature to me. So, well, I feel like that's just how it is when once you get to like the mid to top tier players. It's just that every journey begins with like an ass whooping. I got my ass whooped so many different times. Because when I first started out, it was with Vast, it was with Species. I remember our first tournament was it was a Miramar mix-up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
That was my first tournament. I remember going up. They actually had me on stage against Perfection. I didn't know him at the time, but I remember hitting like a really nasty reset that I was working on, and the entire crowd just like popping off. And then I was so happy and so overwhelmed at the same time. It's like I couldn't win the match. I had too much nerves. That first time experience is absolutely insane. But I
Yeah.
feel like once you get that little high, that little adrenaline rush, you're like, okay, I have to do that again. I have to do better next time. I have to control all these nerves. I have to
Yeah.
surpass myself. And then you start getting into like a competition with not only others but yourself, and it gets exciting. It's exhilarating. It really is.
I really can't describe the feeling. It's you're living your dream. Like, what else can I say? Like, I love the show. I'm a huge fan. I have my own nerves battle that I battle every time I go to a tournament. Is it better over the years? Yeah, as long as you're not too hard on yourself and you're constructive and you don't measure your worth over winning and losing, which is I think the hardest thing for most people. Really just enjoy it for what it is. Learn. If somebody can record your matches, like shout out to Mangaka for recording my match against Lucky Star at Combo Breaker. It's those kinds of things, and you just learn. You learn. Failure is a stepping stone. Failure is not who you are. You cannot win or learn if you do not fail. So people gotta like look past that, and I feel like it's hard for a lot of people. It's not just us.
It is a tricky process because it's a matter of self-reflection and acceptance of what you can about what you are and what you're continuing to grow into, and also what you can change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just finding that balance.
Fighting games are hard. You got to make split-second decisions. You're not the best in the world. You are going to play people who are better than you. You can beat someone who's better than you. You can lose to someone who's worse than you, and then the complete opposite can happen. It's just you just got to win 2 games. That's just how it works, and that's why resets are so popular and knowledge checks are so popular. It is what it is. You just continue to grow with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's probably what turns people off after a while, is because it's a continual self-reflection journey where you have to fight the battle within before you fight the fight in front of you.
Yeah, definitely fighting. You're definitely fighting yourself and your opponent, and I think I could speak for a lot of people when I say that statement. You're fighting yourself and your opponent, and so is your opponent.
Yeah, the same thing's happening for them. It might not be as big as you feel it is, but they're going through it just as you are. It's just how far are they from the acceptance part or from the disengagement part.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a short-term memory? I remember in tennis, my coach always used to tell me, when the point's over, you stop thinking about it. And I had a problem letting go. And that same problem shifted into fighting games. Whatever happens, you need to move on.
Yeah, and I feel like it's definitely an internal struggle, especially with Combo Breaker. No, not Combo Breaker. CEO that just passed. With CEO? The guy who kicked me out of the tournament. He's actually in our Discord. His name is Silence, like SIGH, Psy.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I fought him in losers bracket, and it was so surreal because I was just overthinking so hard, especially after you take like a bad loss. You're just very in your own head, and it's hard to get out of that mindset. But you could tell that he was a lot more calm and composed than I was at the time. Like I was trying to put myself together. He was put together, and I just felt like I was getting washed, and it felt so weird right after the match for him to talk to me and say, I never thought I would beat you. I know you're a better player than me. It's just you were playing really nervous. And hearing that from the guy that just beat me, I was like, I remember being destroyed. I remember feeling destroyed. And that's a very hard feeling to get over as well.
He's a super chill dude, and it was really cool of him and really big of him to come up to you and say what he said. I don't know a lot of people that would say that. He's super cool.
Yeah, I was rooting for him the entire time. Yeah. If you beat me, you better not lose to anybody else.
Yeah, I still struggle with that. I've actually been on a really good streak. I keep losing in the first round when I go to tournaments, and then I have like a tear in losers. I have an issue where if I lose the first round, I am tilted. I'm tilted and I want to DQ,
Mhm.
and I always need like 10 or 15 minutes. Now, the TOs are super chill at locals, and they see me because I'm very obvious about how I feel. I crashed out. I threw my controller case on the floor. I crashed out. And they're like, Vast, you need a couple of minutes? I'm like, yes, please. Like, as I'm crashing out.
Oh,
That's why I don't give
thanks, man.
Rhythmic a lot of Yeah, I don't give Rhythmic a lot of shit. I know he crashes out on our Discord a lot, but honestly, I see a lot of myself in him. So bro, I get it. He's just like, honestly, he's like super, like, for him to like crash out and show who he is and not care. There's part of that that's beautiful. Like, he's not ashamed. He's gonna go in the Discord. He's gonna spit his emotions. He's gonna spit how he feels. And I know he gets hard judged for it, but there is a good way to look at it and a bad way to look at it. He's not ashamed. He gets it out, and then he's chill after 5 minutes. Like, he's whatever. I just wish I could
that's
get it
good
out.
in a way. In order to get the feelings out, that way it's not a bottling up thing, and it would be something worse later. It's good to get that out now.
I agree. In person at the last tournament, I crashed out like Rhythmic. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I crashed out, threw my controller case on the ground, freaked out a little bit, like freaked some people out because, like, hey, you're being physical, you're throwing stuff. Like, it's not cool. You shouldn't be doing that. And I calmed down. I got like my composure back, and then I had a nice tear going through losers. But yeah, that's why I don't give him a lot of shit, because I get the pressure that he's dealing with, and it's very hard to deal with that kind of pressure. It's very hard.
Yeah, especially if it's like a game that you love, because I feel like, especially with us, we put so much of ourselves into the game because it's like we have invested a lot of time into this. We've put in 7 years for almost nothing in return.
I know.
And when you put so much of yourself into something and then you see it like crumble in front of you, like you see your effort not be able to match up to where you thought you were, it's an awful and like destroying feeling, and like it destroys you. But
Okay.
even then, I still felt really happy that I could be with Vast for that moment, especially because when he like threw like his empty controller case, I was like, you know what? This is way better than it's been in the past, and that's really how you have to look at it. It's like I'm moving forward and I'm growing as a person. Because it's like I would much rather throw an empty controller case on the floor for like 1 second and then have it be over than, start getting angry at the guy right next to me, start screaming at the guy next to me, start hitting the guy next to me. It's like, okay, I hit an inanimate object, it didn't feel anything, it's over, we move on.
Agree. I'm always chill to my opponent. I think I learned that from tennis. Like, no matter what, I try to just shake hands at the end, and if they beat me, I'm like, good luck. I hope you do well. I contain my emotions, go to the side, and crash out.
Yeah. And honestly, it
Fair.
takes a lot of yeah, it takes a lot of composure and a lot of willpower to get past that, because when I first started and I was playing with Vastforce and like our group of friends for like the first, I think, year and a half, 2 years, they were beating me down like every Friday for like 8 to 10 hours. I was just taking loss after loss after loss. And I would crash out really hard. And even after the point to where I feel like I surpassed them and I started to get more wins, every loss would still get me to that point of crash out.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of self reflection and a lot of healing, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
to get to a point to where you don't crash out over a loss. Like, you genuinely have to grow as a person to get past that. And even then, you'll still slip. Like,
Mm-hmm.
occasionally. Like, it happens.
We're subjecting ourselves to like turmoil, stress, and anxiety, and we just keep going.
You just have to keep going.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would rather keep going and go through the turmoil than feel the pain of giving up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I, bro, the best analogy is like, I can't give up because I'm like upside down in my car loan. Like, I owe more than it's worth. Like, I giving up would not logically make sense for me. I'm 7 years in. I don't even know how many thousands of hours I have. I own the game in 4 different consoles. I own the game in all the consoles.
You own every single version of the game.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Like, bro, like it would not be cool for me to just quit. And ever since I just kind of let go, it's been better. It's been better. But I think I agree with what you said. Like, you have to like work on yourself mentally. It has nothing to do with the game. It's like your own self. And like once you can pry through and really release like your inner shell, or actually break through your shell, and then just understand that it's fun. And dude, this is like these are majors. Like, this is not a joke. Like, these are real tournaments. Like, you win money. Okay, Dragon Ball doesn't have as much money, but the pressure is just as real. It's funny, right? You get all the pressure and none of the money.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's difficult. It's really difficult. But I forgot even what I was about to say. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good.
I got lost in my own thoughts. Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that like the reason specifically why I don't give up, it's not so much about like the amount of time that I put in. It's just that like with me knowing how competitive I am, I would much rather get upset because I didn't measure up and know exactly where I am skill wise than just not try at all. Because there's like because it's like, it's not anger, it's just like I don't even know what to like describe that emotion of when you just don't try and you're just feeling that emptiness inside, like, because you're autopilot? Scared of the result.
I mean, bro, giving up is the easy way out.
It is.
You know, if you're gonna give up and you're gonna leave, it's the easy way out. It is definitely harder to stick around, especially when the game is as crazy as it is. So we have to like sit back and like just be like, we're a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie, we're a little crazy playing, but we like the thrill. We love the game, and trust me, if you keep going, you will have your day. You will have your day. It's been proven with anything. Human beings are incredible. We are incredible. Like, we just continue going, and you don't give up. You don't give up. You want to crash out, get it out of you, move on, be resilient. Fail is fine. Just get up. Just get up again. That's all you got to do.
All right. I would adaptability. I would say your adaptability is crazy.
For real.
Oh man, which it definitely makes me wish that we had more content with Fighter Z, because we were talking about this a little bit before stream, with how Fighter Z stacks up to other Dragon Ball games coming out lately, which the most comparable one would be Sparking Zero. I know that I was personally very disappointed. Like, how do you feel? How do you guys feel about that?
I like the game, like it's arena based. Like, I've played like Tenkaichi, like, but I always put those games in a different category. I'm not like, saying they're better or worse. They're just different kinds of games. Like, this is like you're flying in an arena, and for my taste, like, those games are fun. It just hits a bit more casual for me. I always look at fighting games like, you can have a 3D background, but I need to be like Street Fighter style, like side to side, high, low, left, right. Like, that's how my brain functions with the fighting game. That's me though. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I get how, like, those games are fun. Those games are a lot of fun.
I personally feel like. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. I'll let you talk.
Oh no, you good. No, I'm trying to find. I just passed that tweet I was just talking about not that long ago. Hang on.
But yeah, I personally feel like arena fighters definitely have potential as like competitive fighting games.
Oh yeah.
But it's just that whenever somebody makes an arena fighter, it's not usually made by people who make the competitive fighting games. They're usually very vastly different companies. And so they gear it more towards a casual audience. And like Sparking Zero, it had all the hype in the world. I remember it crashing Steam when it first came out. That's how exciting like everybody was for this game.
Oh yeah.
But then within a couple of weeks, the entire player base is gone. And the reason for that is because casual players, they come and go. They're going to jump to the next fad. But it's really like a hard knit, I would say, competitive community that keeps the game alive. Because it's like, why does Fighter Z and Sparking Zero have relative numbers in this day and age when Sparking Zero is barely a year old?
Yeah.
It's because of the communities.
Some
And it's
people.
like-
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just real quick. Don't lose your train of thought. Some people played Sparking Zero, realized it wasn't what they thought it would be, and they came back to Fighters. It was very interesting.
100%, because I feel like Fighters hits that like perfect sweet spot to where there's a lot of mechanics that make the game fun for people who don't want to take it seriously. But then once you take a deeper look inside, there's still a lot left for people who do want to take it seriously. I would say that there is some balancing issues with that, but balancing aside, what they try to accomplish with Fighter Z, I think they accomplished in a very beautiful way.
Most definitely. It's the motivation. Like, you can tell that the motivation came from, like, a combination of, like, Capcom versus SNK and Marvel versus Capcom. You can tell the 3v3, the assists, like, you can tell where they got the motivation for it. Because it's like, you would say, oh, what's another game like Dragon Ball FighterZ? Like, there really isn't in, like, the modern era, but if you look at the older games from the 90s and early 2000s, it would only be Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and CDS 2. There's nothing else that really like compares to Fighters.
Right. I 100% agree.
Yeah, the motivation was there. That's why it's so complete and it's so good.
Yeah, especially with Fighter Z being so big as it was on release on Impact, I think the game still has a lot of potential if they're willing to put that effort back into it. But who knows?
Yeah, they can fix it. Just like I said with like BlazBlue, I keep using that as an example. They've done it with other games, but hey, if they can revive BlazBlue, they can revive Fighters.
Yeah, it can be done.
It can be done. You know, who knows? The anime can come out. You know, I think we're finally going to get like the Dragon Ball Super anime. Like, it's going to come back. Toyotaro is talking about continuing the manga. I could have a whole side conversation about the manga. Like, the things that he does in the manga with characters is just it is awesome. He is feeding us. He is spoon feeding us exactly what we want. He's giving us the Vegeta that we want. He's giving Gohan the respect that he deserves. He's giving Piccolo the respect that he deserves. Toyotaro is really doing it. He's really doing it.
Which, have you heard the crazy thing that he said over this past week? He said that every single Goku is canon. He said there is no canon in Dragon Ball and everything is canon.
So he's doing the whole multi-timeline thing. He's gonna do it.
Yeah, he has to. At that point, he just has to.
Dude, do it. There's already 2 Trunks because they deleted a universe from Super, so they're kind of doing it.
Yeah. And it's like I see people talk about what is it, CC Goku, that like really gets a laugh out of me. So it's like I guess it's now a canon Goku that has all the feats of every Goku. I think they're calling him like composite Goku.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Just go with Zeno Goku.
Yeah, Zeno doesn't have God Key, right? But he's got everything else.
Yeah, but composite Goku is Zeno Goku and all the other ones, so.
Okay. Yeah, just stack the God Key on top of SSJ4.
Yep. Jesus, I've been seeing a lot of like power scaling debates lately, and people are just bringing up CC Goku, and then the conversation ends.
That's it. He's got it all.
That's just it.
It's the ultimate package. Like, he's got it all. I didn't know this, by the way. I watched a little YouTube short about Toyotaro and where he came from. I didn't know that he created Super Saiyan 5. Like, the whole white hair. That was him.
That was Toyotaro.
So there's an old Dragon Ball. It's called Dragon Ball AF, and I had no idea that he like did a lot of the artwork for it. Unless this YouTube short just like destroyed me and I was getting trolled on, which is completely possible. yeah, completely possible, which is fine because it's the internet. But it makes sense. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna research that again. But Toyotaro is the guy that gave us all hope, like in the '90s and early 2000s when GT was all we had. And then there's this artwork released with Super Saiyan 5, and it's just like it's like a Goku with like Super Saiyan 3 length hair, and he has white.
Oh my god! No, I remember being young and finding Super Saiyan 5, and I was like, dude, how many are there? And then you find Super Saiyan 100. Do you remember that image?
Yeah. And
where it's like Super Saiyan 3, and the hair was just all over the picture.
But it was awesome, and I was like, if he's the guy that really did Super Saiyan 5, it's so fitting that he kind of like, like he took the baton after Akira was gone. Of course it would be the guy who made Super Saiyan 5, like some fanboy, like 20 years ago, drawing up like a Super Saiyan 5. Like, of course he would be the next guy, because it was like, we always wanted more. We always wanted more.
Oh my god, it makes sense.
It does.
For him this past week to say that every Goku is canon, his Super Saiyan 5 Goku is canon.
He's probably going to bust out with it, I'm not going to.
Dude, oh my god, if Toyotaro ever busts out Super Saiyan 5, I'm going to die. I'm just going to die.
We're calling it out on the podcast now. We're calling it out.
Podcast. It's going to be his childhood dream. He's like, I always wanted this to be canon. Now that everything's canon, check it out.
He's doing it, dude. Okay.
It might not be that far off from hell. We got SS4 out of nowhere, just as a nice node from Daima. So it's possible.
By the way, side note, it completely makes sense that the SSJ4 of 2025 has red hair because the fur was red. Like, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that Goku had black hair with red fur always freaking bothered me. I was like, what is this? Like, your fur is red. How can your hair be black? And they're like, yeah, let's fix that and just make it red everywhere. And he looks cooler. He actually looks like it's supposed to look like that.
SSJ4.
Yeah, there's so much different things like surrounding SSJ4. Like, I remember seeing this fan animation.
Alright, so chat for context. Skip that as mulligan. Mulligan. There we go.
It just makes complete sense. Like, and they made Goku a little bit more monkey looking. Like, his hands were like huge. He was like running on all four in Daima. I'm like, I mean, yeah.
Physically speaking, that all sounds canonically accurate. To just be more primal.
They went primal with it. And like I said before, if the fur on your chest is red, the hair on your head's gonna be red too. I mean, there's not, that's just like normal.
That do make sense the more I keep thinking about it.
It just makes sense. Like, dude, I've never seen a guy have like, different colored hair on his body. I mean, unless he's dying or something.
Yeah.
Dude, there is just one thing that I wish they did in Daima, and that's like the Saiyan ritual for God Key. Because I remember like seeing this fan animation by Hyorin Jutsu on YouTube, amazing YouTube channel for Dragon Ball content. There was one of his what ifs where it actually brought up how they got Super Saiyan 4 in like the GT timeline, and I think there was 4 Saiyans that put all their power into one, and then in the animation he got red hair, like kind of like a off-brand version of God Key, and I was like, dude, what we need is God Key Super Saiyan 4 with red hair. Oh my god, I would love that. That would make me go crazy.
It just sounds diabolical. It really does. It just sounds completely crazy. Also, like, a theory that I had was in GT when, Vegeta and Goku fused at Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta 4 has red hair. And I'm like, I wonder if they tapped into God Key while they were fused as 2 Super Saiyan 4s. I mean, it made sense as to why he had red hair.
If we're going down alternate timelines, that's where we need to be. That is where we need to be.
Yeah, like, otherwise, how would you explain him having red hair when they fused? They both had black hair. Like, how do you explain them?
It's gotta keep.
Wait, what'd you say, Bandersnatch? Let me look. At that
And
point,
we're
let's
like,
make Xenoverse canon and make the two protagonists better than Gogeta. The thing about that is Xenoverse is supposed to be the odd dog out in this fight because it's the multiverse. It's the outer layer of the multiverse. Everything that's canon happens in Xenoverse. It's just Xenoverse isn't canon.
right. It's like Xenoverse is the glue that holds everything together, but Xenoverse doesn't exist at the same time. It's so weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Damn. Oh wait, no, I'm not supposed to look at that. But let me see.
Me and Polarity could talk about this all day. Like this.
Oh, I know there's a lot of good stuff to delve into there.
Dragon Ball? Come on.
Yeah, we do. Like, I'll call him. I think just last week I called him and we just started nerding out.
Yeah, it was gonna be like a 3-minute call, and then I looked at my phone, and then it was like 50 minutes, and I was like, oh, okay.
We covered like fighters, Oki, delay tech, anime. Like, we just did everything. Funny.
Let me see here. Next, let me go into. I guess when it comes to these anime games, and then we'll take a pivot back around into DBFZ. We'll talk about the anime IP when it comes to these games. Wait, let me see what you said, Bandersnatch. The only thing that needs to happen is Gohan publishing a book. You would have thought something like that would have happened by now.
Yeah, I mean, what was he doing in one of the movies? Like Super Ants? Like ants were Super Saiyans or something?
Yeah, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he was writing a. Oh, wait a minute. Well, hang on. I think he was writing something like that, or an autobiography or something. But he was writing about ants.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's probably going to be a boring read, but it sounds kind of interesting when you think about it that you took this much time in order to look into ants.
Right. I mean, the way I always interpreted that scene is that other creatures or like other species are able to tap into like the super form, that it's not just like Saiyan specific, but for some reason Saiyans can tap into it much easier than other species. Because it's like, okay, what is really the through line between an ant going Super Saiyan and like a Saiyan doing it? Other than everyone can do it.
That makes sense, because an ant is a creature that somehow can lift multiple times its own weight somehow.
Yeah, ants are broken.
Yeah, imagine an ant being broken and then also going Super Saiyan.
That is scary.
Yeah, it just reminds me of Hunter x Hunter for some reason.
The Chimera ants.
Yeah, they were like oddly powerful.
I don't think he did. There was a reference in here that he did Bandersnatch, but I don't know if it actually happened. I'd be interested to see what it is, just to see if it was, because it would probably have been about that whole ant thesis.
I just want more Gohan. Like, I love how the last movie was about Gohan and Piccolo. Like, yeah, like Vegeta and Goku are training on another planet. They're busy. Like, yeah, dude, we need to see more of the side characters because they could be just as powerful and they're more interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, give them. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, especially
it's a part of the whole world building aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with like the Z Fighter crew kind of being condensed as well, because as much as people hate that they did it, they pretty much cut off like Chaozu, Tien, Yamcha, and it's like once you remove kind of like the fat from the team, you get a pretty interesting cast of characters that can be equally as strong.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes it much more interesting.
Right, instead of let's all wait for Goku.
It's huge, dude. Their muscles are better. Okay, didn't know that. But the world building aspect is what I like about Dragon Ball, and like I don't have to go towards like the main handful of people that it usually goes to, but to see it just circle around and how everyone's kit as it updates or gets updated every cycle with every fight.
I like that, yeah.
Some of them being humans and whatnot, I can understand how some of them do fall out of favor after a while, either by age or life, or you just want to just walk out, just get out the game while you can.
You're 100% right, because humans have limits. But can we get Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha to learn Kaioken, please? Like, there's no reason they can't learn it.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, they all trained under King Kai.
Dude, Spirit Bomb, Kaioken. Taro, do it.
It could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Krillin has a solar flare in the destructive disc. Yamcha's got his Wolfang fist in the spirit ball. Tien's got the Kikaho gun and the tri-beam.
Yeah, don't sleep on them. We're talking about the same Tien who basically held down Semi-Perfect Cell for quite a while, and like the difference in their power level was like already ridiculous. And he just held down Cell. He's like, you're not moving right now. I'm sorry.
Right. I mean, if we were making the humans more relevant, I would love for them to do like some like Budokai Tenkaichi stuff with like the fusions. Because honestly, if like Saiyans can't really abuse fusions because they have all these like power multipliers, humans don't have that problem. I want to just see the humans fuse and do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for like a.
Well, that's the loophole with that Bandersnatch, just because Krillin is a human. Tien is half human. Tien's not a full-on human. That's why the argument exists there that don't understand about Tien's background story with that whole. However, it is that the race of him being the third eye, or
So
however that is with him.
With the fusion, like so from what I know about the rules of the Metamarine fusion is that you both have to be around the same power level. It doesn't really matter if like you're an alien and he's a human. You got to be the same power level. So would like a Yamcha Tien fusion even work? Like, are they around the same power level? I think Tien surpassed him, right?
I would think Tien's passed him by now.
I would say,
but then you can also kind of like match power levels to just make it work. As long as they have like similar builds and similar power levels, I think it's like easy money.
Agree. I dude, what? Give us like Tien and Yamcha. Give us like what? Tamcha.
Tamcha.
Tamcha. I'll take a Krillin Tien fusion. I think that would be crazy.
That would be really.
But Krillin's so short. I don't think he can fuse with anybody. He would have to fuse with like Goten.
He is a small guy. He's a small guy who was keeping up with Blue Goku.
It's about tapping the key. Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you remember that? Before the Tournament of Power, they had a little warm-up, Goku and Krillin was keeping up with Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Oh yes. My God. I wanted the Fit Boo to be like in the tournament so bad. They baited us really hard.
Disappointed. When I saw Fit Boo, all I saw was like a doper version of like Super Boo. I was like
100%.
This is lit. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. Like, let's go. I want Boo in the tournament. By the way, he would have been cracked in the tournament because his magic can heal. He would have been so good. So good in the tournament. And then like, oh, Boo tired. Boo trained too hard. Boo go to sleep. And I was like, why did you do that to us?
To specifically hurt me. That's why they did it.
Dude, Fit Boo was... I'm going to go watch that episode again. Like, it was like because me and you love like I love the whole Majin thing. Like I love all forms of Boo. Like I think it was great. It was awesome.
Something that I would really like to see, especially since I love Fighter Z so much, I want to see more of Android 21 in the canon. Because I know that she was like we were just talking about like the Piccolo Gohan movie. She was in the movie as like a picture in a flashback for like a quick 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, she was referenced with the Giro timeline.
Yeah, you're gonna get her, bro. Like she's basically modeled after whose mother again, or Jiro's wife?
16's. Yeah, Jiro's wife.
Jiro's wife, 16's mom, and like they're gonna do it. Like they're gonna do it. There's no reason not to.
It'll happen. It'll happen at some point as it goes along, especially if there's more stuff that happens with the Red Ribbon Army, because the Red Ribbon Army just came up out of nowhere with this thing here that actually makes sense for a next generation of Red Ribbon. So that could still happen to still delve into, like, let's say, like, in theory, let's say they try and delve into more of Jiro's science, and after failed attempts with 16, 17, 18, 13, him turning himself into one, and then
19 was Jiro, right?
and then both of Cell projects. No, number 20 technically was Jiro. Number 19 was what's it, that
The
Powder Puff
beefy
guy.
fat white one.
Yeah.
Okay. So 19 was the one Vegeta fought. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
And then the original Cell project that was scrapped from the earlier days, and then the new Cell project, the Cell Max, that was brought up this time around. So what's to say we don't take a look and delve into the wife's work?
Cell Max reminded me of like if you gave Cell like an Uzaru form, and technically he can go Uzaru because he has Saiyan cells, right? And I was like, wow. So if you bring back Cell and you make him go Uzaru, like you basically get Cell Max. Like it makes sense in my head. It would explain.
Yeah, but honestly, I wanted more of the classic cunning villain because like every scene that original Cell was in, just so much aura. Oh my god.
Bro, I mean,
Cell was
this
a dude
character,
that just encompassed aura.
he has so much like hidden aura that can be like completely like he's got the cells of Frieza, he's got the cells of Goku and Vegeta, he even has Piccolo cells now. We're talking about orange Piccolo, orange Cell, golden Frieza, golden Cell, God Key Cell with God Key. Like he can do it. He's composed of these characters. Like he can be quite a menace and quite a great ally if he ever actually comes back.
Yeah. Oh, good point, Bandersnatch. Or the Namekian giant, because Namekians can turn themselves into big giants.
True.
It doesn't affect
So maybe
the muscle mass, but still.
Maybe that wasn't Uzaru. Maybe it was just his Namekian cell. Because they were like when I saw a cell go big, like it didn't surprise me at all. I was like, Namekians can do that, Saiyans can do that. It made sense to me.
Yeah.
And it's got to be one of the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would like for them to go down the whole Gohan scholar route where he's talking about the Super Saiyans. Because there's a lot of through lines there. Like, you see Saiyans going super, you see Frieza in his super form, he turns golden. You see the ants going super, they turn golden. I feel like they're definitely trying to lean into, like, or at least it's my theory, that they're trying to lean into everybody can go super. It's just certain races can do it way easier than others.
Yeah, and then don't get me started on Universe 6 Saiyans with tickling their neck. I was like, oh, okay, that's just lazy writing.
That's what I'm trying to think. Like, there's no way that you're trying to introduce this with, like, Kaba and the girls trying to have, like, some tickle thing on the back, and then that's where it all happens. Where, okay. I
equate that to a Universe 6 Saiyan who can tickle their neck and get good. I equate that to a 2025 DBFZ player learning fusions. Yeah. I learned fusions and I can beat like a lot of mid-level players now. And I'm like, you can probably do better than that too, but yeah.
I mean, I guess, but it's like, in the story, what do you think would be a better way to explain how to go Super Saiyan? Because it's very obvious that, like, the main characters don't use overwhelming rage anymore to turn into Super Saiyan. Like, how else would they activate it?
They gotta go through trauma. Like the only way that we've ever known is through an emotional response and trauma. That's the only way.
Because that's how Frieza deduced that. Because it's like, if it's not going to be through training, it has to be through something emotional that forces the trigger naturally.
Right. And look, it's not to say that that's the only way. It was just the only way that we knew of. So, yeah, they can definitely, like, oh, tickle my neck, do this, do that. We don't know everything about Saiyans. And, you know, Toyotaru can come in and reinvent things. And I think we're open to that. Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it left the book open. It left the book open from Toriyama, where there's a handful of ways that it can happen that all aren't linked to emotional duress. So maybe there could be more positive ways to link it too.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they called it a Super Saiyan bargain sale.
Oh my god.
Nice. Vegeta did it by throwing a tantrum. Yes, and knowing him, there'll probably be many more of those.
I love that episode. They're training in the little chamber, gravity thing, and Trunks goes super. It's great. It's great. Love it.
Yeah, he's had a few of those tantrums. It's the Team 4-star, that's the Raleigh. Oh yeah, that one was unnecessarily funny.
Everyone has a Vegeta in them that holds on to honor and training and put the work in mentality. Like I can understand his salt, just being like, dude, you can't just do it. Like, what do you mean?
Exactly.
We all. It's very relatable. Vegeta's always been a very relatable character. Goku is, I'm pro tag. I don't really count him. Vegeta's the one who's relatable. He fails, he grows. It's a very as unhuman as he is. The characteristics and his demeanor are very human.
Yeah.
Very much a grinder.
I'll find it in there somewhere. In the direction of the anime IP, as we take a look into the video games IPs and whatnot that are at least flourishing in the scene now, and those that are still staying as we go and enter in this next phase of abundancy with differing fighting games that are coming into the scene for the FGC. Do you feel like if it's a decent sized IP for the anime version, do you feel like it's the gaming community or the manga community that really helps that scene grow more?
I think that's kind of an interesting question because on first glance there is a lot of overlap between those two communities, and I would say the first people to adopt the game definitely are the gaming community. And what makes it kind of interesting is because through these big IPs, that's how we get more people acclimated in the fighting game community and just in the game community in general. Because there's people who would never ever think about like taking something seriously until you put their favorite IP on it. Because I was one of those guys. I would have never taken fighting games seriously if I didn't have the love for Dragon Ball first and then go into Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So I can see a whole new influx of players coming in because of like Hunter x Hunter or any other anime game you could think of.
Yeah. If it's like the chicken or the egg, I feel like more people watch anime than play video games. I know that's like a strong statement, but we've been to tournaments for like 7 years, and you kind of see like the repeat of players that show up. You always have a couple of new players here and there, and then you just have the regulars. It seems like the FGC community is a lot smaller and more close-knit than I thought. I feel like most people in the world like love anime, they enjoy anime. I feel, in my opinion, the anime is what gets you into the games. Because it's easy. It's easy. You read a manga, or you watch something on, Crunchyroll, and that's like, I feel like a lot of people watch anime, and I feel like that gets you in, it gets you in the door. And look at what Arxis is doing now with what's it called? Marvel Token Battle?
I'm so excited for that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Token.
I feel like the Marvel movies in the last decade, like the whole, especially like Infinity War and Thanos and like all that jazz, I feel like that was a big motivating factor. Don't forget that the Japanese love superheroes. They love superheroes. Like, they love superheroes as much as they love baseball, and they cherish baseball. They love it. They love the whole Captain America thing, like red, white, and blue, stripes on my shield, like defender of justice. Like, they're into all that. Like, they love that kind of stuff.
That makes sense. Because that makes sense how superhero just blew up so instantly.
Yeah, very, very Marvel-like.
Highly.
Now they're doing this Tokon thing, and my opinion, I think X-Men '97 had a lot to do with it. I think X-Men '97 exploded I think it was incredible, and if you haven't watched it, y'all should go watch it. It's amazing. I think Invincible, also very superhero based, has another thing to do with it. Now we're getting an Invincible fighting game. Like, wow, that's so funny. There was a show about a hero, and now there's a game. There's a fighting game about it. It's so crazy, right? Tokon's gonna be nuts. That's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, just be the American that the Japanese think you are. I think about that all the time, literally all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for them, not to say that anime is like not as good, but it's their country. They created manga. They are the authors and creators of anime. So it's like for them, it's like, yeah, cool, we do anime, but they're like, dude, check out this guy with this shield, Captain America. Like, I could totally see them being like so into it because there's a lot of like American culture that Japanese people love, and they're a little cheesy. I was in Japan last year and I saw it, and I like it. I like cheesy, like naive, like it's really cool, it's sweet, and I could totally see them gushing over superheroes because it's like the cheesiest thing you can be. So yeah, the Captain America, Spider-Man, the Avengers, like save the world, like oh yeah, and then boom, they bust out with Tokon. Like yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, like in the same way that we just have like we have people who are obsessed with Japanese culture. There are a lot of Japanese people that are just obsessed with American culture, and it's nice to see that exchange going go both ways.
I like it too. I think it's great that a Japanese creator like Arxis is going to do Marvel Tokon because I feel like they're going to really give it justice. They're going to give it the fighters treatment. Like I really feel like that. I'm not putting all my hopes and dreams into the game. It's nothing like that. I've seen Arxis and like their past, like Strive, Fighters, like the games and the quality that they're able to produce. And if they put the amount of time that they put into Dragon Ball into Tokon, you're talking about like a fighter's like decade-long like lifespan of a game, like 100%.
Easily.
Right, because I feel like with the older games, like the older Marvel fighting games, those were already popular enough, but those came out in an era when it was still perceived to be nerdy if you liked superheroes. You were still like a geek if you were into any kind of comic books, anything.
Yeah.
But now, when it's so normalized and so widespread to be into Marvel, to be into DC, it's like, I feel like especially that game, it's going to bring in so many new people. I don't think we'll be able to control the fighting game community. I think it'll just explode, and I love that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely making it like they're introducing like a smart mode, like auto combo, like they're making it very accessible. Kind of like what they did with Street Fighter with Modern. They did the same thing with Wolves. They added like a smart mode. Nen Impact also has like automatic combos and stuff like that, and they're making it very accessible. And it's like if you're a casual guy who watches superhero movies and you want to go do a bunch of superhero stuff in a fighting game, you're going to go to Tokon and you're going to have a blast, and it's going to make it like it's going to be very accessible, and that's what this community needs.
Right, because especially with all the older games, they had like very hard and difficult inputs.
Oh yeah.
But if we're like talking about Arxis, I think nobody can do like the whole smart mode like better than them, because they had like the trial run with like Fighter Z. They had auto combos that was very controversial when Fighter Z came out.
It was.
Auto combos are the worst combos in the game, but at the same time, they allow people at a lower level to enjoy the game, and it's about enjoyment. And honestly, if they're going to use Fighter Z as like a kind of groundwork or kind of like a beta, let's just consider all of Fighter Z a beta for the new like Marvel token game. I feel like that game has even more potential than Fighter Z to sweep every fighting game on release.
Agreed.
We're talking about all the fighting game history that Marvel has, all the international fans that Marvel has, and just how much excitement there is inside and outside of the fighting game community for that game. That game is going to be massive. I can see it overtaking every other game in every major.
Oh yeah, and that's not even an exaggeration, to be honest, because it's the perfect storm. You have Arxis working on a Marvel fighting game. Like, need I say more?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I'm grinding that game when it comes out. You can't drive me from that game.
I'm gonna be all over that, man. I'm gonna be all over. I got my boy Venom is already in it, like I saw, and yeah, bro, I'm gonna love it. I just don't know how I'm gonna do with 4 assist buttons. Like that's gonna be crazy.
I'll blame you. That's still kind of. I
Like if they're trying to go with like the 6-button layout, then it's 1 punch and 1 kick with 4 assists.
basically. This is multi-layering.
I mean, yeah, and we're already in that accessible phase of fighting games where like things are simpler. So, yeah, that could be it.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I feel like I've been too coddled lately because I went back and played like an older Guilty Gear game, and I wanted to shoot myself because of how hard the inputs were and how unreadable they were.
Dude,
It's like to the point to where I don't even want to play the newest Guilty Gear because I'm like, why do I have to do a half circle and then forward input? I don't want to do that.
dude, it rips your thumb. It rips your thumb to pieces. Like for guys that play on pad, like you, like it's really difficult to do like 180 degree or like 360 degree inputs, especially like if I talk about a command grab character. Who's the command grab character from Strive?
Potemkin?
Potemkin.
Yeah, like yeah, that's like 270 degree circle into back or forward with a button. Like, brother, like okay, on a hitbox, okay, like yeah, I understand. I understand. And you got a lot of salt who play like modern Zangief, but I'm like, bro, if you're playing classic Zangief, you got to do an entire circle with your thumb. You're gonna rip your thumb open.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the older fighting games. Like, I don't know which Guilty Gear it is, but there's one of the older ones where one of Potemkin's moves, you have to do 4 360s in a row, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who's playing this character?
Yeah, I don't understand. When Marvel 2 got re-released, I was like, oh, cool. I want to learn the Infinite. It took me all weekend. I took several breaks. I bought the game on my Switch, and I wanted to learn the Iron Man Infinite because it's the most. It's like one of the easier ones, and you kind of like hit confirm it, especially if you have Psylocke as an assist. It took me all weekend. I had to take breaks, and I didn't stick with it, so I probably can't do it anymore. But like the inputs were incredibly strict. They were incredibly strict.
Damn.
So accessibility is, yeah, we need accessibility. We need accessibility. But you want to be able to make it still like, enticing for advanced level players and professionals. But at the same time, the pros are just going to have to hold it. Like, hey, I hold it when I get auto combo with Gogeta 4 and I die. Like, I hold it. I'm like, I get it. I have the potential and ability to do this too. So, you got to have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think Street Fighter was like is on to something with having regular controls and modern controls, where like you can have the best of both worlds for both, and then you still have the general execution ceiling for the veteran players.
Yeah, what I like about modern is that you can do the auto combo and you basically take a hit in damage, but if you want to confirm and do all the regular inputs, you still can. And I think that that's really, really cool for modern. They're definitely onto something.
Yeah. Because like I see the argument in like not wanting to make things overly easier, but Street Fighters did that but still retained the skill layering there for all the characters and different levels of the gameplay.
Yeah, nerf the damage. And if you're fighting a modern player, you have to understand that they have modern reactions, and you got to respect it.
Right.
I can kind of understand the argument, especially if we're talking about like an invincible reversal.
Oh
because like I'm all for modern controls, but it does feel a little unfair when you not only do you take less time to do the input, you get a much easier input to do an invincible reversal.
Oh yeah.
And while it's still as punishable, it's like, okay, should we really be rewarding that in such a way?
I get it. I get it. There's some salt with it. That's why when I play, I don't play online Street Fighter. It's very sweaty. But when I used to play, I would look at their name to see if they're a classic or a modern player. Because I'm telling you, if I engaged a modern player, I treated it like a fusion player. I'm like, I know you can have an auto combo. I know you can like destroy me with like one button DPs, and I have to fight them completely different. It changes the entire match for me.
Gotcha.
Right, because like if it's a very strong option, I can understand giving it a harder input just so that it's not abused. Because the state of the game right now, especially in Street Fighter, when you come to like modern players, or even we can bring this into Fighter Z with people who have invincible reversals like DPs. When you're in a block string, if you have too easily accessible of a DP, you can just mash it and it'll come out. Versus like, let's say if you're playing classic mode on Street Fighter, if you try mashing your DP with a Z input, you're just going to get hit.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Yeah, it is a way that I like kind of punked on people to get to master. I would basically fuzzy mash my EXDP in their block strings, and yeah, dude, if they weren't baiting me, they would get hit, and I would be able to like skip their pressure sequence. Now, I ran into the smart guys that would just stagger and wait, and you just run into that guy who will never like actually go aggro, and he would just keep waiting, and I exploded. I exploded, but then I learned. I was like, wow, you actually have to just respect like the modern when you're pressuring them. Like, yeah, I see the salt.
Right, which I think that makes it a weird game state because I'm
It's
all for making everything more accessible, but certain moves do have an input because of balancing purposes, and I feel like the Z input is definitely there as a balance purpose for
yeah,
purpose of balancing.
yeah. It's not like a dull Gohan where you can just rip a quarter circle forward with a button and get a DP.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's one of the ways I got to master, so I'm not even going to like front. Like, yeah, it was a little cheap, especially if you have like awareness as a player and you can tell. I can't read my opponent's mind, but sometimes you can tell that they're just going in. You know, they're not really baiting you, and I'm like, oh man, this is a free DP, and yeah, it would work 9 times out of 10.
Productive habits and identifying.
Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for Sagat. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for Sagat. He's like a Shoto's dream. You know, he's got the slow fireball, he's got the fast fireball, one goes low, one goes high, massive normals, huge uppercut. He's got the tiger kick. Like it's gonna be fun. That character's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn the basics of it now because that's gonna be ass whipping central when I gotta deal with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to like DI a lot of his long-reaching normals. That's kind of how they balance things out in Street Fighter, like DJ players and Guile players, like players that reach across the screen. Marissa. Usually, a lot of those normals cannot be canceled into DI, which means you can just DI them. So I'm assuming, yeah, I'm assuming they're going to give us those kind of weaknesses.
Okay. I mean, I guess you would want to, because if the dude was a former top tier that you're putting back in the game, you want to try and make sure that he has an applicable matchup chart, so he's not overly busted.
Yeah, no, of course. Like they immediately nerfed Akuma. Like his air fireball, it wasn't even that broken when Akuma first got released, but they increased the hurt box on Akuma right underneath him a month after he got released, and the air fireball just like I don't want to say it went to shit, but it became easier to punish. Even if the fireball was already out and you like do a late uppercut or anti-air, he's still getting hit. It was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, so they're very aware of balancing like the broken character. So I don't even know how good Sagat's gonna be, to be completely honest.
Gotcha. Hey, Silence, welcome in. You didn't miss much. We're in the middle.
Which how long do you normally go for these podcasts?
However long you want.
All right.
That's why I usually try to pick the decent amount of times where I either already made dinner or don't have to worry about it tonight, or I did something earlier today, where I have at least 2+ or 3+ hours to dedicate to these sessions.
Nice. Yeah, I was kind of munching on my dinner as we were talking.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of not eating dinner yet, so I'm probably going to go in around an hour, probably closer to 10.
Oh, you're good. I think we should be at an applicable point by then.
Okay, gotcha.
Street Fighter 5 made people
'Cause
learn
I've
the
been-
power
I-
of Saga and his trial combos. The little bit of time I was playing Street Fighter 5 Bandersnatch, I tell you, bro, that dude put me through so much fucking hell. I was playing. I was already trying to just get used to learning the decent matchups of net play, and then you got that fucker that just comes in and literally is just reaching almost across the screen, damn near, it feels like. And then you gotta sit here and play Shoto footsies with this jackass in order to get in, and then you still get denied. Then I gotta work my way in just to get denied again. And then when I have you, DP. It was an educational time. I won't say it was angering, it was just educational. Street Fighter surprisingly is one of those few games that, while it should make me mad, it doesn't make me mad.
That's impressive if it doesn't make you mad. I need your kind of mental, because when I was playing sweaty online and ranked, whoo, man, like there are some guys who log on to ranked in Street Fighter and they're just there to ruin your day. And I'm just like, holy smokes, like it's Street Fighter ranked is like, I'll play DBFZ ranked any day over Street Fighter ranked. Like it's a completely different world.
Damn. Alright, well, at least I got a heads up if I want to try and hop into rank over there.
It's very sweaty, battling through Diamond. I feel like every Diamond level is like its own, it's its own arc, Oh, Diamond 1 player is like, oh, well, if you can deal with this, you're probably going to be fine. And sometimes it's just like the luck of the draw. Like if DLC comes out, you're just going to have to hold fighting the DLC because everyone wants to run it and everybody wants to win. So it's just, you don't even know what you're going to get. And then when you're doing good, they'll throw a Blanca at you because they're like, yeah, get wrecked.
Yeah, true. But at least the good thing about Street Fighter is that I feel like because the game is so barren, yeah, it is definitely a controlled environment.
Oh yeah.
It's very hard for me to take Street Fighter seriously, but when you do take the game seriously, because it's so controlled and it's literally just neutral, when you get good at Street Fighter, it makes you good at every other fighting game. It is like the training ground of fighting games, I would say.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like, you can't. I mean, modern kind of lets you do a little bit more bullshit, but still, like, it's all about fundamentals, patience, pressure, and you really get called out if you start playing like a doofus. Like, Dragon Ball is a little harder to. It's a little harder to punish like obnoxious behavior, especially if you really don't know how to deal with it.
Okay. Next, let's go into, let's see, state of play. We'll come back around to state of play. Let's go into, what do you guys think is a common misconception with the FGC? Something that's misunderstood.
I'm unsure.
Misunderstood about the FGC. So you mean like an outsider who doesn't play fighting games looking into the community from that perspective? I guess from what perspective?
You can look at it in that regard, but something about the FG. You can even let's even look at stereotypes here for fighting games and the players or the scenes or how like our general formula is for hosting events or maybe tournaments or exhibitions or meeting streamers or engaging in different social circles. What do you think
There are
is
definitely like
misconceptions?
There's definitely a clique. The thing is with FGC players, you have to know how to ask the question. I think that's a general misconception. with a lot of people, because I see a lot of people coming out and being like, "This guy smoked me. He didn't really tell me what to do." You have to know how to ask the question, and even if you know how to ask the question, sometimes the guy still might not understand it and not give you the answer you're looking for. There's another misconception of gatekeeping. Like, it's there, but it's not as bad as I thought. Maybe because a lot of toxic players left Dragon Ball. Maybe that's the case now. But I guess the misconception would be in a different game. Don't expect everyone to just help you out. It is like a dog-eat-dog world in a way, and my experience in Street Fighter has been good, but I always know like how to ask the questions. And I'll do it in a set, even if it's a tournament set. I'll ask in between games. For the most part, people are pretty chill. They'll just be like, "Oh yeah, that's that," and usually you shouldn't really be doing that. They usually tell you after the set. But a misconception is don't expect everyone to always help you. They won't, but at the same time, like I try to keep an open mind.
Interesting take, Bander. That is very true. That's actually kind of like what he was just talking about. But yeah, people think
at the end of the day,
than it actually is.
Yeah, because people are trying to win, and I can't. From a certain perspective, I can't blame them. But it does hurt. It does hurt. Not personally. It hurts the community. It hurts the community because it's a community effort. CEO is literally called community effort. You got to share the tech. You gotta help things grow, because the last thing you want is for these events to stop. Once these events stop, that's it. Like, we don't have it anymore. So, share the tech, help others out. Just like Rhythmic and his crash outs, like, I don't get on his ass. Like, I get it. I get where he's coming from. I get what he's dealing with. That's why neither me or Polarity have ever banned him, because we see sides of ourselves in him. And the fact that he's chill enough to just let it all rip, I get that. Like, I look at that in a good way. Yeah, okay, maybe he's TMI, he's too vocal about everything, but a lot of the times he's saying a lot of the things that people feel. He's just saying it though. He's just saying that, and that's like, being honest in this world is a double-edged sword. Not everybody wants to hold it or hear it. They really don't.
Right. That is unfortunate, Banders, and I know how that feels, because there's a handful of them almost in any game I've competed in where I do try and seek that. That's like the definitive point on how I ascertain real self-growth, is if it's possible to get those runbacks, I try to have my end game be those runbacks.
Right. And just piggybacking off of what Bass was talking about earlier about not gatekeeping knowledge, because I see that a lot of people like to gatekeep knowledge when the game is bigger, but I feel like it doesn't really matter whether your game is currently big or small. If you gatekeep your knowledge, you're almost hindering yourself. Because I'm of the personal belief that I will tell everybody my weakness. I will tell somebody my weakness, and I'll tell them to exploit it on me, just so I know what it's like for me to lose. I will allow someone else to know what beats me, because it's like, I would rather do that in a controlled environment than go to like a major and then it's like, okay, this one guy knows how to beat me, and now there's nothing I can do. But if you've already been fighting against what you know you're bad against, what you know beats what you do, then it's like now you have a counterplay. So if you gatekeep knowledge and you don't tell everybody everything, you're only hindering yourself, because then you can't rise above as well.
Most definitely. It's a big way to look at it, though. That's a very, very big way to look at it, and I can't say a lot of people think like that, in my experience at least.
I mean, yeah, because everyone wants to like keep their like secrets and tricks like to their chest, but it's like you have no idea who knows what. And if I can make the people around me strong, and then it's like, cool, I don't have to just feel like I don't have to just feel good being a big fish in a small pond. I can be more than just that, you know? I can
Oh
make my
yeah.
pond bigger.
Oh yeah. It's definitely an ego check. Um, and you're living proof of it because all we did in our friend group was share, 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 and be honest. And we started just admitting our weaknesses to each other and the rest of our friends. And when you do that consistently, you just become stronger.
100%, because it's like I'm not trying to hide anything. It's not as
No.
if, I'm never going to get good against somebody doing this. It's like, no, I'm telling you to do that against me so I can get good against it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just leave it all in the court.
Right. Because cause I would say the worst feeling, or like one of the worst feelings is when you think you're really hot shit because you can beat everyone in the area because you're top dog in your area. And then you go somewhere else and you can't even beat their worst player.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it still happens to me. I just I just learned to just always understand that you can lose to anyone.
Right. Because you get this overwhelming confidence, like especially in I would say this happened for me in Smash Brothers. For a really long time, in my small area, I was the best Smash Brothers player. And then I started seeking out competitions in bigger cities, and when we started traveling for Fighter Z outside for Smash as well. And I would do good against these players, but I would just get like dominated. And that's kind of what brought me onto this kind of mindset because it's like, yeah, I everyone already knows, everyone outside of my circle already knows what the weakness is. So why would I be hindering my friend circle and myself by not teaching them that? And ever since we like started sharing our secrets in Smash, our community has grown a lot larger. Like to the point where the best players in Florida will travel for our smaller tournaments. And that feels nice too, seeing your community grow.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Okay. Next, let me delve into community state of play. So this can be here, or this can be the communities that you traveled into thus far, depending upon if you were there at the beginning to the end, or just dipped, dipped your feet in and out of it. All the communities that are around right now, how do you feel about their present 2025 state of play? Be this communities, tourneys, content making, or influence in what you say or wish to project as a trend, or your the influence, your merit.
I'm a huge fan of the Chicago community. I mean, they for me in Polarity, they keep Dragon Ball alive for most of the year because how they have the tournaments split up. It's like they have a tournament like every quarter. Frosties is always January. Combo Breaker is always like around like April May. You got this one Roundhouse in September. Like if anything, like they keep the competitive, at least fighter scene, very very alive. If that community wasn't in existence, they would just be Texas Showdown and CEO, and that's it. So Chicago, y'all are the goats. In the U.S., they got the love. They got the love. I love that it's not that far. I love that it's a cheap plane ticket. It's like $100, and I go to Chicago, and I'm like, hey, feels like 5 years ago when DBZ was running rampant. Because when you're in Frosties or you're in Combo Breaker or when we go to this Roundhouse thing, like you don't feel like DBZ's dead at all. You don't feel like it's dead at all. You people playing casuals. You got like they have like Frosties had like 70 or 80 people in their tournament. Same thing with Combo Breaker. Like that's a lot for a dead game.
Quite.
It's a lot. That's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
double.
especially Yeah, especially because a lot of the players I spoke to that were playing Fighter Z are like, yeah, I flew out here for Fighter Z. It's like if you have people flying out for your dead game, you know that there's some real love behind it.
It lives in Chicago. That lives in Chicago, man. And I'm just grateful for that because, like I said, it would just be the EO once a year, and if we can, fly out to Texas, but that's not enough. Like me and Polarity like really enjoy the whole traveling aspect. Like we love going to new places, meeting new people, expanding the Discord, keeping the community going. Like we really love it. And besides Chicago, there's just not much else. So I respect and kudos to them. They really are like they're keeping it alive. Like I really have nothing else to say. Like they're doing it.
Okay. So I'm very sorry about this, but unfortunately, I do have to go. There's like a little emergency happening right now.
Okay. All right, not a problem. I appreciate the time in which you had here to share with us through tonight. The last question, if you do want to chime in, well, even if you can't talk, you're free to chime in here on stream. The last question I was going to delve into was to talk about what your takeaway from the gaming journey thus far is and the road still traveled. The template that I gave you, that small thing there, the question that's right there on top of the DBFZ timeline, that's essentially the last question that I'm going to close with before I go to my closer.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you want to chime in on stream later on, if we're still going.
Yeah, no, I still have. I could take like 5 minutes.
Oh, go for it.
But what I would say my takeaway from like the gaming journey, or at least my gaming journey so far, is that it's really just about the community, because you can push yourself as hard as you want to push yourself, but you're not going to get far without support. Especially if it just feels like you're just banging your head against the wall, or if you're very frustrated, or if you're raging a lot. There's no better feeling than having somebody next to you to do that with, to make you feel better, to go through it with. And it's like, I wouldn't have stayed on this path if it wasn't for Vast. And honestly, I wouldn't. And honestly, I found like some of my best friends in this community by doing this. And to the point to where they don't even play fighting games anymore, and they're still my best friends. It's something definitely worth getting into, and just don't downplay the community aspect of it, because that's really what brings everything together. And it feels nice, because through this, I am a much younger person. I'm only 22. I've met a lot of older people who are best friends of mine right now, who have been through plenty of different life experiences, and so it's nice having sort of like a guide, not only for fighting games, but for any aspect of my life. It's been, I don't even know who I would be if I wasn't introduced into the fighting game community when I was. So I couldn't be more appreciative.
Okay. And I think the community here is also appreciative in having you here to be a part of it and share your intake, a lot of your worth, your ideas, your vision, and the end results of your successes.
I mean, here's hoping.
You have a lot that you've contributed to the scenes that you poured yourself into, and then some, that do show. Even if it doesn't feel like it shows, it does.
I really appreciate that.
No, he's right, bro. When we go to these events, I feel like I'm with a celebrity, because there are always like, there's like we're like surrounded by people, and they're all like, "Yo, Polarity, yo, that's Polarity. Hey, can I get a picture with you?" I'm not even like fronting.
Oh wow!
I mean,
okay. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I was like, this is great. I actually I stay away from attention. I like to be the attention person, like in my friend group, but publicly, like I don't really seek that out. I don't think Polarity does either, but just to kind of piggyback on what Rod was saying, yeah, dude, like you're affecting people. Like you're affecting the community and you're doing things. Because when we go to these events, dude, people are like they're on you. They're asking you. They want pictures. They want this. And yeah, man, you're definitely doing it.
Okay, well now I'm blushing. No, I definitely appreciate the sentiment because it feels nice getting something out of it. Because I feel like you can't join the community for money because this is not really where the money is. There's definitely some people who make a ton.
Yeah, not this
but I feel like what most you're gonna get out of this is the community, and it feels really nice when you've been talking to somebody online for like a couple of years, and then suddenly it's just like, oh, I finally get to put a face to the name. You know?
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling.
Okay. Alright, but we won't hold you up for what you gotta get to. Stream will still be going at least for another 30-ish minutes or so, give or take.
All right. Well, I very much appreciate you guys having me on, and I hope you have a nice night.
Oh, always. If there's anything at the topics you want to talk about or you want to have a mini podcast on, just let me know, and I can go on ahead and we can just dock it. It can be anything you want to delve into or anything in the community, this one or in general, that you want to sit and just have like a brainstorm about. Just hit me up and we can do so.
Yeah, I think that'd be amazing. This was definitely a very enjoyable experience, and I want to do it again.
Awesome.
All right, but I will see you around.
All right, have a good night.
Good night.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Vast, it is you and moi.
And there were two.
Then there were two. So let's see. We were on the misconception of the FGC. We talked about the state of play. We also talked about the anime IPs and for their gaming equivalents, whether or not it would be the gaming community or the manga community. And you guys touched on some good points. And Bandersnatch also talked on some really good points. Next thing I will go into, and then I will also go into my closer and the takeaway from the gaming journey thus far, is going to be talking briefly about for the few games you've been a part of. I want to talk about the social scene, like the social evolution of a community from start to finish. Do you feel in some cases, and this can even pertain to the generation, I don't know. Do you feel like the community's social scene evolves or degrades when we get to the finality point of the product's final patch, or closing, like a wrap-up point for the company to change point of interest?
That's a great question. It's a really great question. Obviously, most of my experience is in fighters. I do casually play Street Fighter 6 and City of the Wolves. I do enter tournaments for them. I can speak about those two communities. Just like the one that I'm going to have the most exposure to is fighters, and it's what a wild ride. What a wild ride it's been with the game. I've seen toxicity. I've seen growth. There is so much that has happened. Every time I see the game get patched, I see more salt and more toxicity, but then at the same time, those kind of players get phased out because they're the kind of guys that, like, it's like the guys who are salty in Street Fighter 6 about Modern. They're like, well, I don't want to hold this. You know, if something's more accessible, I don't want to hold this because I'm going to have to hold losing to someone who's worse than me. And all in all, I think that's great for, like, evolution, because you really don't want to be competing with those types of people to begin with. Like, you really, like, I get it. I've been doing the fighters tournament thing for 7 years, and I almost always lose to someone who's worse than me. And it's natural, because when I fight someone better than me, and I know that he's better than me, I dial in and lock in like it's my last day on Earth. So it's only karmatic and natural for me to go through the same thing when I fight someone who's worse than me. They're going to give me everything because they expect to lose. So, I'm fine holding that. I'm actually today I am. I wasn't okay with it for a very long time. But if I can dish it out and beat a guy and create an upset, dude, it's going to happen to me too. So, I mean, the game gets crazier as they keep patching it. But like I said, it also weeds out like the toxic people. So I want to say it's a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing in disguise. With Street Fighter, it's there's some of that right now because I'm a modern player. The reason I had went to modern is because I didn't want to go crazy, learning like frame input things with classic mode. Even though I've been playing Street Fighter my whole life as a casual, I was like, wow, I can play modern and I can actually compete. Like, well, let me try to get to master. Like, let me try to do this. And when I select modern in a tournament, I still get a bit of anxiety because I hear the whole group behind me be like, a modern player. Oh man, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Like, don't do that. Like, please don't do that. Like, I'm a human being too. I have emotions. I have anxiety. I'm nervous at the tournament too. Don't make me feel worse for doing for playing the way that I play. It's people are very sensitive like under pressure.
Yeah.
It's really funny because in City of the Wolves, I actually got the opposite effect. I played on stream and I was playing smart mode, and Justin Wong was commentating on my match, and I ended up winning it. And they went on a whole conversation about smart mode and the accessibility, and yeah, I didn't feel much like I didn't feel that same like Street Fighter feeling that I felt like when people are kind of criticizing me for like the kind of style that I'm choosing to play. People have to understand that it's very, very hard to play multiple fighting games at a tournament if you're expecting to actually do well. It's actually very, very hard, and the dedication, like, dude, I have a full-time job. I'm married for 14 years. I'm thinking of having kids. For me to be able to, like, split it into Dragon Ball, Street Fighter, and City of the Wolves, like, I actually need the modern and smart modes. Like, I need it, because it's incredibly hard to grind 3 games.
No, I don't
Very
blame you
time-consuming.
because it's like I mean, logically, you're still going to be grinding the game, but you want to try and help with the natural process,
Yeah.
and then you can choose to pivot between regular and modern as you wish.
Yeah, bro. Like, people sometimes have to, like, like, you got to give the benefit of the doubt. You got to give the benefit and understand. Like, I feel like people in the fighting game community are still, trying to think of how to phrase this. Like, they're still.
They want to understand, but they also want to judge both.
Yes. And my therapist says if someone is assuming, that means they're judging. An assumption is just a nicer way to say that it's a judgment. And when you select modern or you go smart mode, all their assumptions come out. They're like, oh, he's trash, he's this, he's that. And it's like, we got to stop with the assumptions, we got to stop with the criticism, and we got to stop with the judgment. That's the kind of stuff that kills the community.
That is. Because like in the fighting game, it's really easy for assumptions to kind of be that way, because a lot of games that have those tropes or stereotypes, it does innately create the judgmental things there, because stereotypes do create those environments.
Most definitely.
Like, there can be healthier ways of managing it too, which not every community unfortunately is good at really practicing that, and that's understandable, but the key point in that understanding is to call it out.
And that's what I got better at doing. Not nowadays, I got better. I call out behavior. I was playing in a tournament recently, and there was coaching going on, like in the middle of my set. And I looked at the guy in the middle of the match. I didn't pause. I didn't care. I was like, no coaching. Like, guy, like, now a couple of years ago, I would have never done that. But rules, I guess, for some people were meant to be broken.
Just coaching in the middle of
there's rules. Middle of the set. Just whispering in his ear, and you're not supposed to do that. Come on, man.
Now,
some games allow it in between games.
Now, at a major or whatnot, like what we see, like showcase all the time to a degree, I kind of get that, because like the stakes are like really huge, and if you got a coach right there, I mean, obviously, I guess you're gonna take a second to pause in the middle of the match and not in the middle of the match, but to take a breather and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, he'll probably come up on stage or however it is on the dude's left or right, and then just say, hey, this is what you're doing, this is what you're not doing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like in between games, completely fine. As the game is going on, that's what threw me off.
That's a hell no. That's ultimate backseat driving.
Yeah, and Dude, I had another situation a couple of years ago in Fighters where the guy paused, and you know how that works in tournament. If somebody pauses and you figure out that it's his controller, I mean, it's a default. It's a default. And I kind of froze up because it never happened to me before. And the guy paused, and he just legit, like, straight up, like, I saw him. I was like, "Can you unpause?" And he unpaused, and it was his controller. And he legit just lied to my face and was like, "Nah, that's not my controller." I'm like, but you just unpaused in the game. No, that's not my controller, and I didn't call the TO. That's on me. But it's just, you got to be ready, dude. People are going to do what they're under pressure. They're also nervous, so who knows how they're reacting, but bad behavior still has to be called out,
Right. Damn, what a way of a result.
Yeah, I don't remember how we got onto this subject. Your question sent me on a tangent.
Oh no, you're good. Damn it. This was a subsequent pivot in the discussion of the finality of communities in terms of like the state of play in communities.
Okay, yeah.
Let me see what you said,
Yeah.
Anders. The assumption should be that your reactions will be faster because you don't need to do the full motion. You're back on the Street Fighter thing. And I get you.
That's as far as my assumptions go. Like, if I'm fighting a modern player, it's not that I have more respect. I just know that they'll be able to do crazier stuff with like a few button inputs. So it's like me fighting like a fusion player or like a SSJ4 player in DBZ. I got to look out for certain things. That's how I look at it.
Right. Because modern is like for the not experienced player, it's the way for you to play the game to the fullest without necessarily the hours to match it. Whereas for the experienced person not using modern, this is actually the ultimate knowledge check because all the stuff that you can do that took you a bit or that is harder for you to do, your opponent can probably just do that.
Real.
So it's an ultimate knowledge check on how much of a complete player are you to do this matchup. Not the player,
yes,
but the matchup.
Definitely. And there's definitely setbacks to modern. Like, my fundamentals in Street Fighter 6 are not as good as my friend. He's a friend that I practice with. His name is A Session. And he's a classic player who got Manon to master. Now, that's hard. I'm just letting you know, that's really hard. Manon is not like yeah, dude. You know. She's not a skip neutral character.
No, she's got to play it out the whole way.
Yeah, she's got to level up her command grab. And then, once she has level 5 command grab, sure, it's like a circus party. But it's work to get her there. It is nothing but work to get her there, and nobody wants to hold it. And he got her to master, and he was like not good at fighting games before he got into this game. And we all come from DBZ. For a lot of people, DBZ was our first fighting game, and it's DBZ.
Yeah,
it's DBZ, dude.
but damn, that's a hell of a fundamental shift.
Oh yeah, so like my fundies in Street Fighter, they're okay. I mean, they're not as good as my friends, but I have other things that I can do. I have specials that I can do in the air. I have things that I can just rip, and that's what makes me threatening. And then combos are not that hard in modern, and then if you do the inputs for the supers, you don't get the damage nerf. So you end up becoming incredibly dangerous really, really fast. Does it skip some things? Yeah, of course. And I'm aware of that. I mean, on the flip side, I beat a MR1700 Ryu when I was playing Street Fighter 6 in tournament. I didn't know that, but he was going pretty ham on me, and it was very close, and I ended up clutching it out 2-1. And then I asked him later after the match, like, "Yo, what's your rank?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm like in the 1700s." And bro, I'm like 1400. Like, I was like, "Oh my god!" And sometimes, modern can bridge a skill gap. Not always, but I'm familiar with the Ryu matchup, so I'm sure that also helped me.
Yeah.
it's fun. Like I get to have fun. Like I get to play against all sorts of levels of players. I get to have fun, and like for me, it's great, man. It's great. Does the community get salty? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but hopefully they keep making fighting games accessible, like, you know, with Marvel Tokon and Modern and Smart Mode, and I actually hope they keep going in this direction and just take out the sweaty, salty players. Like you know, it doesn't help the community. Like, we don't need people like that. We really don't.
Nah. Like sweaty players will come and go all the time because everybody has a different play style and a different way of assessing the game that's gonna tap into your monkey mode no matter what happens.
I agree.
The toxicity to accomplish that, not always needed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like a salty set as much as the next dude, absolutely. But there's a difference between salt and toxicity.
Yeah. I think, like, salt is inevitable. Toxicity is a choice. How about that?
Yeah.
You're gonna be salty, dude. Like, it's a fighting game. There's a loser and there's a winner. Like, there's no way you can't just, oh, I'm just not gonna have salt. Like, bro, it's part of the whole experience. But taking it to that next level of being toxic, like, no, that's not necessary. That's not necessary.
Nah. Because that is a choice to want to take it that far when you could just say, hey, I want the run back, or alright, GG's, I guess, or don't even say GG's. It's like, okay, I would just take the run back, and then we just gotta hold it in silence.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, you know, like, I used to get salty and want the run back, and then I evolved so much as a player, and I became so secure with myself and my confidence that I don't even ask for runbacks anymore. I just realized that it's a first to two, and you got to win 2 games. And if things go your way and you get what you want, you win. And if not, you don't. And it's completely fine. It's completely fine. The whole runback thing is like you have to prove to yourself I can win. Because after the set, if you want the runback, that's a personal thing. You just need to know. You need to know, and I respect that. I get that. I used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
But you just need to know.
Yeah, because that is it's a different layer of yourself where you want to see, okay, we run it all back just now, but is that what you want, or is that just how you're feeling right now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, man. I was always the run back guy. Especially if I lost to the guy in pools, I would be the first guy to hit. It's like if I saw him playing casuals, I'd be the first guy to be like, okay, I gotta whoop this guy in casuals to prove to myself. Dude, I don't even care now. Now I'm just like, I either clutch under pressure or I don't, and I don't even take it as hard as I used to. I think it's just a healthier way to be.
I think so. I'm still getting there sometimes because the old me is still there, where it's just like if the ass whooping is that bad, sometimes I do want the run back. Other times I'm willing to let it go. I can't just fully let it go.
That's real, dude. No, I get it, bro. I was the king of the run backs. All I did was get wiped, and then run back. Bro, I get it. It's also like when you get what you want and you get some of your accomplishments, you know, you calm down inside because you finally proved it to yourself that you can do what you sought out to do, and you end up chilling out. That's why you see a lot of high level players, like, they barely get salty. I'm not saying that they don't, but you know, when you've seen a lot, you know, I equate it to Star Wars. Like Obi-Wan at the end of the Clone Wars, he was one of the most powerful Jedi like in the universe. And he's not really revered as one of those Jedi, but at the same time, his experience in the Clone Wars sharpened him so much that he just wouldn't tilt. Like I read like the whole series of him, and I love those books. And no one really talks about like how ridiculous he was after the Clone Wars. Like he was this. Imagine a guy just playing tournaments like every day for like the entire Clone Wars. Like that's basically what it was for him. It's just like eventually you just get that belief in yourself, and you get that confidence that everybody seeks, that everybody wants, and you're resilient. You just keep getting back up, and you will eventually get what you want. I mean, that's kind of, if you look at the history of human beings and like how we are, just don't give up. Now, it's easy to say that, like, oh, don't give up, but a lot of people do give up, sadly.
They do.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh, they do.
Last question. I believe we can go ahead and close. What is your takeaway from the gaming journey thus far and the road still traveled? So the same question I asked Polarity, same question I'll ask you.
I have a lot of things that resonate with what Polarity said. I really wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. The whole, we call it Double Dragon, because it really was, like, he fell off, I picked him up, I fell off, he picked me up, and it was beautiful. It was a brotherhood. But to anyone out there listening, and anyone that's going to hear this in the future, if you want to build your character, put yourself in challenging situations. If it's tournaments and competition, do it. But don't let it define who you are. Understand that it's something that you're doing, like, you're putting yourself in these difficult situations because you want to grow as a character in life. Like, forget about the winning and the losing in the tournament for a second. Like, if you stick with it, you'll get what you want, right? I'm talking about as a human being and, like, growing. The reason people quit so much is because of how difficult it is. And not a lot of people know this about, like, Captain America, the actor that played him. He almost didn't do the Infinity War and all the Marvel movies. Like, I watched one of his shorts, and the interviewer was so like, but you were like one of the best Avengers, and you were so good at your role. He's like, well, I was scared. He's like, it was like a 7-year commitment for all the movies, and you got to stay in shape for 7 years. Like, you know what that kind of commitment is. Like, staying in shape, eating right. Actors have a crazy way of, like, how they pump out movies. They do like 20-hour days sometimes. And she's like, well, what ended up happening that you stuck with it? He's like, because it scared me. It's something that really, really scared me. And then I ended up realizing that I have to do this if I want to grow as a person. And I really kind of resonated with that when I heard that. And that's what I would say. Like, my takeaway is, like, if you want to grow as a person and you like video games and you're thinking about competing, do it. More power to you. But just know that, like, the right reason to do it is to grow as a person and as a character. The winning and all that stuff, like, that's like something that comes on the side. Don't do it just to win. Don't do it just to win. And you'll see what happens. You'll grow. You'll make friends. You'll have a community, like what I'm doing right now with you on the podcast and everything I built together with Polarity and all my friends. You just gotta have your perspective and your sights set on the right goals, and it is very, very gratifying, and it feels really, really good. Just like anything in life, if you put your mind to it, you eventually get it. You feel good, and I grew out of this entire experience. I'm in therapy for the last 2 years, like cognitive behavioral therapy, and I mentioned this to my guy, and he's very, very proud of me, and he sees what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and he's like, like, the fact that you didn't quit and you kept going. I'm like, yeah, I realize a lot of people are saying that, because it's like, if you enjoy it, do it and have fun with it. And that's kind of like when my raging kind of stopped. Like, yeah, I crashed out at CEO, but it wasn't that bad like how it used to be for me. My character was built. I became stronger as a person. It can really, really change your life. Like, it really, really can, as long as you embrace it and you take it for what it is and don't define your worth through it. It's a video game. It's a video game. That's just what it is at the end of the day.
Words well spoken.
Appreciate it. You had a multi-part question too. I'm down to go different avenues. What else was part of that question? So my takeaway was, that was that.
Multi-part question.
Like, about the future. About the future, right? Like,
oh yes, the journey thus far, and then the road still traveled. So the road is still ahead.
The word still traveled. I'd love to make it to Evo France. I'd love to do well in Roundhouse and get, like, my first DBFZ medal. As crazy as it sounds, because people saw me get a couple top 8s last year, and people know how good I can be when I play well. I've actually never gotten top 8 locally, and I really, really, really want to, but it's part of something where I gotta, like, stop trying to prove it to myself. And that's a whole, like, clutching nerves type of thing. And Silence went through it. I saw him almost get top 8, and he made some questionable decisions, but I get it. When you're under pressure, like, you're gonna do with what feels right. And I saw his struggle, And his struggle actually like put me in perspective. I'm like, dude, if I got as close as he did and then also failed, like that would hurt so much. And I saw that he took it like a champ. He took it like a champ, and I looked up to him. I was like, wow. So the journey not traveled, like trying to have kids. I'm turning 39 in September, and I want to be a FGC dad. It would be great. Like I'm probably still gonna fly to events because my wife is super chill about me and chasing my dreams. She's always about like, dude, have fun. If you like it, do it. I wouldn't be half the man I was today if it wasn't for her. Even like I host my boys every week. Like, what kind of wife would allow that? You know, it's just like degeneracy. 20-year-olds up to 30 to 40-year-olds just playing video games all night on a Friday, trashing the house. Like, what kind of woman would allow that? You know, kudos and points to my wife for being like an incredible person and letting me do this and letting me really like find this like inner part of myself that I didn't even know existed. You know, and yeah, I want to have kids, and I don't know if I'm gonna have them in the community. I might be a thing that dad did that's fun, and if they want to do it, I'll always support it. But I saw what it did to me and how it changed me, and I definitely wouldn't recommend it to anyone unless they really know like what they're getting into. If they really, really want to do this, because it's also very hard. There's a very hard aspect to all this. But I'm happy to be where I'm at, and hey, the future looks bright. It's fun to compete. It's fun to have your boys and share a hotel room and crack jokes like your family members, and then go like play a tournament the next day. The whole experience is beautiful. The entire experience is beautiful. As long as you're with the right people and you're growing, definitely, if you're into it, do it.
And that's the thing, like it definitely sounds like it's a constantly good atmosphere to be in, and when you're always around people that you know and you love and you trust, it's never a bad experience. It's something that everybody has as a good building block that everybody can learn from. And learn from each other.
I learned from my boys all the time, and I had a high ego over the years, and I was like, what can my boys teach me? But when I dropped my ego and started playing like Ditto matches, like there was this whole thing with me. I hated playing Ditto matches, like when we play the same character, and I just hated it. But I hated it because I was scared. There was no reason to hate on it. And in fact, playing a Ditto match is one of the best ways to like figure a lot of stuff out because no one's going to play the character the same as you.
Bingo.
And that's the beauty of embracing your fears. Like, what, you want to be a big fish in a small pond, win in your friend group, and not play the Ditto match because you're a little bitch? Like, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's like I had to get over my own egotistical things, and just like Polarity said, like, don't do the whole big fish small pond thing. I mean, look, if that's what you want and you're happy with it, bro, awesome, amazing. If you're trying to go like to events, like, it's gonna be a huge ego check. It's a huge ego check because I'm still learning 7 years into it.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as I hate Dittos, honestly, they're the most educational aspects of almost growing, especially if it's a mirror match to your main character, because it's an ego checker.
It is, and it's broken me quite a few times. I'm about to subject myself to it with a session because he's going to switch to Gogeta Blue. And immediately my ego is like, oh, well, he's got to get through my Gogeta Blue. But that's like, I get it, and that's great, but I have to also keep it in check because it's a fusion character and I can just get killed. And I have to keep those things in check. And at the same time, I'm here to help him get better. I'm not here to like whoop his ass, and I'm past that. Like, I've gotten my online top 8s. Like, I'm happy. I get how good I can be. I got to help him out, but also challenge him and keep him interested, not just shut him down. So it's to be in the driver's seat and to hold back a little bit and be the teacher. It's also a very difficult place to be. It's a very, very difficult place to be. And I'd really only do it for somebody that I love, like him. Like, he's going to get 3 to 4 hour sessions with me, and we're just going to run the Ditto over and over and over again. It's like, he'll just be like labbing against me,
Right. And then when they're ready, they'll let you know.
Oh yeah. No.
Because my students every now and again, when they get decent, my students will let me know, hey, Rod, if it's okay, can you hit me with the full power? Done.
Hit me with the full power. Yeah. Hit me with the full power. And yeah, man, he's switching to Gogeta Blue. I'm really happy to show him and teach him. I have like a mid Gogeta Blue at best. Like, it's a shadow of what Polarity's Gogeta Blue is, but at the same time, I learned everything about the character from him because he's one of the best Gogeta Blue players that I know.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I got the patience. I'll sit there. Like Polarity is like the kind of guy that can play like 20 to 30 games and he'll get tired out. I don't know what it is about fusion characters, but when I have the fusion brothers together with any anchor, I can play the game for hours because just of how the nature of how those characters play the game.
They do. It's Damage City.
It's Damage City, full screen normals, and when you're running the fusion ditto, the matches are very very short sometimes because if your plan goes right,
They create
yeah,
very concise momentum effects, or like they can avalanche like momentum.
easily,
Yeah.
easily. Like the avalanche ability is easily because of like everything's on them. Like everything on fusion characters is all like reflect proof. Like you have to do basic pressure, and you're basically punishing already multiple things. Like this is why everybody hates fighting them because it's like you have to have like a solid understanding of those characters and have good fundamentals in DBFZ to even stand a chance of getting through the wall of shit that those fusion characters throw at you.
Exactly.
And it's such a knowledge check.
It is. Becoming a theory guy or a coach helps when bringing in new players when we stop competing. Yes, it really does. It's like I did like because like being a coach and whatnot that people relied on, that was like one of the scariest things that I've had in my journey here in the FGC, because it was difficult at first to really accept that I'm here. Like there's people that are counting on me, and so I gotta be cute. I gotta make sure that I'm like on point with what it is I know wholeheartedly that I'm doing, that I can instruct this to people, or that what it is that you're doing is right and wrong. You gotta be able to identify these things. You gotta be like a constructive parental in a sense.
Oh yeah, you're that, and that's why I said, and I know that now like you're resonating with it. It's very hard to be in like the teacher example role. No one to hold back. No one to, because you're a human being too. Like you have your own emotions and you have your own thing that you're doing. And the teacher's driving seat is, I have a lot of respect for you, like for what you do and how you do it and what you do for the DBFZ community. I'd say for commentating and theory, you're like the backbone of the DBFZ community. And that's not a glaze. That's just what I've seen in the past few years of being in touch with you.
Yeah. I don't know if you're saying
Like
that to me or the art, but I mean I'm just talking about like the art in general.
you. No, I'm talking to you directly. Because when I think of like a theory person or someone who coaches as consistently as you do, I can't think of another person who does that more than you.
I appreciate it. I just do what it is. I just do what it is I can to get back to this scene. Like the
Yeah.
projection. Like I'll tell you the same story I told Luther, because Luther wanted to know also like what made you decide to go into Metafy after competing for so many years. And so what I told him was like eventually there's going to be a point where like I'm not going to be able to do it as consistently anymore, and I'm going to probably be losing it to the newer generation just because of reactions, and I'm not going to be able to really keep up despite how much I do seek to train. But I want the knowledge that I had and a lot of the experiences to amount to something for better prosperity for this scene and its people. I don't see it now, but I still see the projection of newer people that are coming in here that can try to learn something from older heads that actually have something to offer. I know that there's other people that have come and gone through the system that could coach but didn't, and those that have coached but haven't gotten lessons consistently because of their disposition, or because of the atmosphere that they bring in the community, or because, plainly speaking, the prices are probably too high. And here you have to also be price cognizant and aware, like yes, you do want to have value for yourself and your worth, but you also want to make sure that your lessons are practical for the audience that you're bringing in. And so I told him that
And they are.
if I can make it one day, even if I can't win the tournament, because my thing was at least to just win a tournament one time, at least prove to myself, hey, I can do this.
You can. You can win a tournament. It's the grind. You know, like I get you, bro, with the reactions and everything. Like, dude, side note, turning 39, but it's because of my diet and my routine that I retain like a little bit of my youth. Like TMI, but I got my blood work done and my testosterone's at like a 28-year-old's. And that's not a flex. It's just like the nurse practitioner was like, what are you doing that you have a family history of cholesterol, different kind of cancers and diabetes? How are you so ahead of the game? I'm like, well, I know that, number one, because my entire extended family is dead because of pre-existing conditions. I was like, so I just do like intermittent fasting and I eat twice a day. I just food is my fuel. I enjoy it from now and then, and she was just like, yeah, she's like, that's a lot of water and organics. I stay away from gluten because I have an issue with it. A lot of vegetables, a lot of protein. And she's just like, a lot of people just don't do that and they die. I'm like, it's also hard. It takes mind power to do this kind of stuff. I get that.
Okay. I'll work some of that into my diet. I didn't think about just trying to focus on meats and proteins.
Yeah, you don't know if you have like the gluten sensitivity or not. So the best diet to go on if you're trying to go clean. And this is from Wolverine. This is the guy that got like ripped and he's like what 50? And he got super ripped for the last Deadpool movie. You know, bro, broccoli and chicken. He just ate that. Now that sucks because if you're a foodie, you can't just eat the same thing every day, but there are people who can do that. You know, you need a little bit of willpower, but if you're trying to clean up, you do like a good vegetable with like a lean protein, like chicken or fish. Mm-hmm. You drink only water, you will get better at video games.
I will try. I will take a note of that. If I go on my Street Fighter journey here with what I want to do next with myself, I will try that as I'm going through and see if that'll help with the transformation.
No, it will help. It may take over time because a lot of the corn syrup and a lot of the processed stuff, not saying that you eat like that, but it's in general when you buy stuff from like a lot of the supermarkets here, there's high fructose corn syrup and everything.
Oh yeah.
And that's it's just bad. It's just really bad. I mean, hopefully we get changes and the FDA cleans up their act, but that's not even a conversation for this podcast. My point is like just clean up water. If you got the willpower, bro, you can be optimal. You can be optimal, and then all of a sudden you'll see the game a little slower. And that's all you really need. You know, you need to be a little bit ahead of the game if you want to win. And I think you can win a tournament. My favorite team that you used, which threw me off, and I thought you were gonna fuck me up that day. It's when you did the two blue brothers with SSJ Vegeta. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, it was scary. You had a battery for two ridiculous characters. You don't want to fight the fusions when they have meter. That's the worst way to fight them.
Yeah.
Very 16.
Oh, I thank you, because it was a team that I was practicing for a while for, like Tampa Never Sleeps, and it almost worked. Because I was just practicing, because I knew Gogeta for years. Because I played Gogeta back when he was bad, and then I started picking up Vegito when Vegito got another buff. So it's like, okay, why not invest in the blue shell at this point? That way I can just have Enzym's endgame shell for what he had once upon a time when he mained basically.
Yeah. This gets you through the doors. It'll beat most people. We were just talking about how difficult these characters are to deal with. Imagine being good at them.
Right.
So
then I
was scared.
And then so I just decided to think outside the box and wait a minute, okay, the general battery here is the Yasha shell, which is what everybody uses. And so to think outside the box, who else can be a temporal battery for the same thing that still works with the game plan of rushdown and or meter and or special tagging set up for these two? And so I just took hours and hours in order to just look through my stuff here and just thought, okay, wait a minute, SSJ Vegeta can do this.
Yeah. And boy, does he have the assist to help out those guys. Boy, does he have the assist.
And it worked. It was a great matchup, too.
Malice was destroying me with SSJ Vegeta A because I was getting hit for, like, reflecting it. And I was like, I have never encountered this interaction. I was like, what is going on? And they were calling it, waiting, and then doing a 2M. and I was just getting hit by the 2M while the key. I didn't understand what was happening. I got to go rewatch the matches, but they were. I don't know if they were timing their button with what I was doing or not, but it makes me want to just run that assist just to see like what it does to people.
Yeah, try it out. See the results. See the result. Try it out and see how the results go. Playing against the Vegetas make you see a totally different way of the defensive aspect of neutral, because all three of them are rushdown characters, but they rush down in different fashions for the reward.
Dude, it's so real. It's so real. I feel like the coolest looking one is Base Vegeta because of how he interacts. Like, he has no recovery on his JS, so he can just do it into like another thing, right? Him and Blue Goku, right? And watching how he connects different moves into that Ki Blast, because he has that property, like, he can create a combo out of anything off the hit. And I was like, it's so fun to watch like a good base Vegeta play, because they're just constructing it like as they're. And he has so many Ki Blast games he can do now. Like, he throws it like a basketball. I couldn't
Pretty
believe
much.
it.
Like, the
what
Ki Blast having like two set different properties with the way they bounce, and now them bouncing off the ground is a thing now.
Yeah.
With how they confirm
Yeah.
that shit is wild on how many different ways he can confirm into his neutral now.
And bro, like, if they're waking up Super Dash, a lot of it beats it. Like, he's so stubby, and he's like, his normals are so good for beating out stuff like that. That if you're halfway decent base Vegeta, you're gonna be jabbing out their Super Dash attempt.
One of the rare times where having stubby normals is actually the definitive plus point of the character.
It's really good when you're like, I found with stubby characters like GT Goku, Kefla, the Vegetas, it's really hard to get them off of you. Yeah, I feel like they shine when they're in your face.
Yeah.
It's hard to get in, sure, but holy smokes, like, when they're in your face, like, the stubbiness is real.
Definitely.
Yeah, I loved that shell when you were running it. Yeah, I might go lab it just to see, like, because the whole battery aspect, like having a battery for the two fusions, like, it just makes them so much more threatening. Like, imagine, like, you ever fight your boys and their Blue Gogeta has 7 bar, even though he's solo, and you're like, oh, man, you're just like, all right, if I get hit, I'm dead.
Yeah, because I don't know what he knows, but I know that if I get hit, I could die.
Yeah. It's always that threat.
Yep. I'm gonna read up on you guys in chat. Coach, I graded this. I had the hand injuries, slowed me down on top of the mental health. I stopped being a competitor and started teaching more. Coaching isn't that hard if you have someone that wants to improve. For sure. Everything is a matter of perspective. Anyone coach being great at it is different. Yeah, like I told him that my main goal was, if I made it, was to try and give back to the next generation for this game. Even if I couldn't make it in this generation, I want to at least try and make sure I can contribute to the next one, so the next generation has a viable constant for learning what the fundamentals were for this game, and not what it is and what it looks like. Because if you're only looking at the glass half full of what it is, they're not grasping the deeper sense of what the main avenue is to get better in learning matchups or characters or team shells, and sometimes frame data. Frame data doesn't really have to be applicable until you go higher up. And so I felt like I could teach all these things, because I've practiced all this stuff for years to be able to compete on the game as long as I have, and I've had a placement at least once at, barring a few places, I've competed at every locality in the game that's ever existed. I just don't have a top placement for all of them. Some of them I can't even get again, which I'm okay. It took me a bit to deal with that, and I can hold that in grace.
That's beautiful.
And all the knowledge that I've accumulated, I want to try and give that to people that give my platform a chance, even if they heard of it or haven't heard of it, to just give me a shot as a teacher and see what it is that they can learn from me. Some of them may not like me as a competitor, some may not like me as a TO. you might like me as a teacher. The main thing that I try to bask myself on as a teacher is what I also apply in my game plan, is to just be patient with people. Because I see it like people are just like me, whereas like I always have to be patient with myself in order to see the better aspect of myself. And so if I'm just patient with other people, I can probably also see the same thing with
Yeah,
them. And
it
that's
took me years.
always a recurring thing. Yeah, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And you feeling the pain about not placing how you want to place? Like I can relate to that. Choking up on a few top 8s in person. That was hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Definitely builds character for guys like us. Like it builds your character, and you continue on, and you want to transform this into something meaningful, and you already have. But the fact that you want to keep going is also amazing.
Yeah. Just like I just got to prove it to myself that I can get to the end game with what I can bring. Because chat, when I tell you that like it hurt when I couldn't get a placement for Bum, or I couldn't get a placement at Neos, and especially with Neos after I came so hard to trying to get that fight for the Federation placement for top 8, and then I got shut down both times, and then he just stopped doing them out of nowhere. That shit really hurt me for a while. It took me a couple of weeks to really try and grasp myself to want to pick the game back up again, because I
Wow.
defaulted to just focusing on Neo's program and supporting him in order to help keep these alive. Because I want that spotlight. I want one of those top 8s, because all of New York sees your shit when you're doing that. And I wanted that. I know there wasn't any chance to get that with Bum anymore, because it's always a hoop jump with that. That's another podcast another time. Neo Judai was like the rock that I needed in order to try and like, it was my last gateway to try and get somewhere in the game at the highest presentation that was there. And when that was gone, a part of me was what was gone with it.
That's real.
Like I was blessed that he decided to be a part of the platform for Pride FGC that passed earlier last month, a couple months ago. And then he brought back the Federation Academy for Dragon Ball to represent for the Pride FGC thing. Like I was so happy, because I thought it was an end game that I thought I could never have again in this lifetime. And I say I trained my ass off. I trained my ass off that event. I literally went back into my old mindset like it was NLBC weekly, like what we used to do, and I was on fighters every fucking day to get back to how I was.
That's what you got to do. I try to play every day. I can't, between my job and my life, but if you can get that consistency, you'll get good quick. You're just in it.
Yeah, because that was literally like do or die. It's like this is the last chance I could probably have that he has in order to turn back to this game. It's like I have to do this. This is death if I can't do this. You have to do this. You have to place at this event at all costs.
And you placed well, from what I remember. I remember seeing the results of Pride FGC, and I saw you up there, and I was like, "Oh shit, let's go, dude!"
Yeah, I got up there. I did get the top 8 on that one. I lost the top 4 contest, but hell, I was happy all the same that I got the top 8, and I was able to just keep going up the ladder. And it's like this is just amazing.
You're just blowing through it. You're doing it, yeah, bro. Like this kind of game, because of how fast paced it is, it's everybody calls themselves a casual if they're not playing every day, and I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why. If you're like a little too slow and you make a mistake, like you're dead. It's happened so many times.
Yep, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, everybody.
Because it's just even before the game was changing through the years, it was still generally like a fast pace. It's a fast paced game in its own right compared to other games. It moves slower than another ineptly fast paced game, but in its own universe, Fighters does move at a decently fast pace. It's just characters or shells that slow it down. The gameplay, the tempo is fast.
It is.
Any closing remarks or anything before we get ready to close the podcast?
Just full of gratitude, happy to be here. Happy if this even inspires one person. We'd be very pleased. But yeah, just trying to keep us going. DBFZ, let's be like the Marvel 2 guys who there's 20 guys in the community who play in a garage and everything's online. So if that's what I signed up for, I'm completely fine with it. As long as we're part of something that's alive.
Same. And what makes it even better is because we're contributing to its longevity because we're helping to keep it alive.
We definitely are.
FF? Which FF? I might not know my lingo. I might be exposing my UNC status. But I thank you for pulling through today, you and Polarity both. And for those of you guys out there, if you guys need to, go on ahead and seek to definitely leave them both a follow here. Let's see here. Vastforce's Twitter is right here. If you guys want to, feel free. Leave him a follow here. And for Polarity, feel free to leave him a follow here. This is his Twitter here. So seek to definitely go ahead and support them. They're among some of the real ones that's still left over here in the community. Also, if you'd like to, if you're a Dragon Ball person, feel free to join the Discord. They both founded a server that a lot of my friends, cohorts, fellow competitors, casuals, and competitors equally all are generally in. It's called Fighters TTF. I can also leave the link for that in the VOD here when this goes up on YouTube. You guys need to join in there if you guys enjoy yourselves some Dragon Ball Fighters. There's people in there of every skill level. Literally every skill level is in this server. It's incredible. Yeah. The amount of people you were able to amass for this.
It's amazing. I got way more than I bargained for with this game. I'm just happy for anyone to come join and play with us. There's no gatekeeping. There's no nothing. We're just trying to play the game and have a good time.
Because sometimes because just like when you're trying to take a new fighting game, trying to fight a new person in the fighting game community, hell, that could be a journey for all you know.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see who is on. You know anybody who's on right now?
Like playing?
Yeah, it was either playing or anybody on that any of your favorites that you want to raid.
Let me check my Twitch.
Because I see Syriax is on Sparking Zero. I see Bum's on Rivals. I see Simba's on Peak. Team Spooky is on Persona 5.
I see. Is Lord Beerus on right now? Thursday casuals.
Really? Hang on, let me look.
Yeah.
King.
He's on it.
Yeah, he is. Oh yeah, Grinder Thursday.
All right. I mean, if you're cool with it, raid him.
Oh, absolutely.
He deserves it. He deserves it, bro. Like this guy, he brought back tournaments.
That he did.
So bad. I haven't entered the last two. So bad.
Let's stay collab with him from time to time. I just make sure that my tournaments don't coincide on the same days as his. That way it allows for optimal engagement for the community.
Yeah, that really has to be looked into because there's two tournaments happening this Friday at the same time, and I literally want to play both of them.
You see, that's the thing. I didn't even realize that I think it was one of our Mexican colleagues that had one that came up. I didn't even know about that until like Thursday. I didn't even know that until like yesterday morning. Is when I first found out about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to play in both because the way the online tournaments work, 9 times out of 10, I find myself waiting. I might as well play in another tournament at the same time.
Pretty much, like I know that for some communities like Tekken and Street Fighter, they're trying to crack down on the double bracketing thing. But for some games, I I get it, but at the same time, it just fills in the space. It fills in the airspace of waiting for a match, or you might not know what's going on the other person's end. While you're waiting for this, you can also be in that same lobby taking a match for somebody else.
Yeah, it's so hard to stay dialed in for like during an online tournament, especially if you're
You don't
getting
want to
like
get cold.
you don't want to get cold. You don't want to get cold.
Good checking in. Gonna head to bed. All right, Bandersnatch. Thank you so much for sitting out there and for tuning in with us for the podcast. I appreciate you, man. Tune in for the next one, because I got a good one coming in somewhere this week. Coming in for Nen Impact.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm trying to have a podcast for that one before the game comes out. See how the game is once Disneyland gets here, and then a month later, 2 months later, then I'm gonna have to have a follow up now that we have an idea of what the game is compared to what we think it will be. All right, so we're gonna go on ahead and get ready to raid King Lord Beerus. I'm gonna start my raid shortly. So for any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to follow us here on the Twitch, or you can also follow me here on Twitter or Blue Sky or Instagram, YouTube. Anywhere you'd like to be in the know, you already know where to go here at Toxicity and Iacon Central. I'm going to get ready to drop you off respectfully at King Lord Beerus, one of my colleagues and collaborators in the Dragon Ball FighterZ scene. Feel free to leave him a follow and sit with him for the night for Grinder Thursday. You guys have a good one ahead. I'll see you again when the Space Bridge opens up again for the next topic in the community. You guys have a good one. And like I always say, till all are one.
Good night.